Brother Fresh, man. Thank you, man, for joining, coming up to the roof for another episode of World's Greatest Game.
Yes, sir.
Man, this discussion is a bit of what we were talking downstairs, man. It's all about self-mastery. So what I'm just so, interested to learn more about and what I want you to share is just your process, man, on how you've gotten to be where you're at. I've been exposed to you through, both Jeff Johnson, one of my brothers who's been rocking the suits for a minute.
Right.
My man Tommy Duncan.
That's my
has
guy.
Been rocking it.
Right.
I done seen D Wade.
That's my guy.
Rick Ross.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Your roster is impeccable, but it's because of your attention to detail, what you're putting into it, and obviously your ability to build relationships.
Right.
But, I think it's easy for us to talk about the success and the wins, but I think the magic is in the journey, and how you got to be you. So I want you to go into the origin story, right? I want you to go back a little bit. And there's a high school story that I was told about that I want you to touch on, but you can even start before there if you want. But I just want to know how you got to be the legendary Rich Fresh, bro.
The drip god, the one and only.
That's it. The real drip god taking over.
Pretty boy Floyd. I've always been a weird kid. I think that's where it starts. I was always different. I grew up overseas like the first 6 years of my life. So I grew up in Germany at first.
Okay.
And
is that military family?
Military.
Okay.
So, I'm the oldest, and I'm an introvert, super introverted, and I'm finding out more things about myself, there may be some Asperger's in there, there's OCD in there, there's all kind of shit. So I've always had these, I was always different than all the other kids. And one of the things that was real different was, I could master things real easily. And I think the first example of it kind of reinforced to myself that, oh, nigga, you different. I was in kindergarten, and there's this kid named Benjamin. He's a neurologist now. So we were in kindergarten together, and he was the only other black kid in the class.
Okay.
And so after school, I would go over to his house, and his mom would watch us, and then, my mom would come pick me up. And I remember being over at his house one day, and this is a smart kid. We in kindergarten. We 1 + 1 is see Jane run, that type of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm at this kid's crib, and I'm seeing him devour an encyclopedia. He just sitting on the floor, and he's just devouring it, just line by line. And I'm like, what the fuck? This dude's 5 years old. He ain't supposed to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And something in me was upset because I couldn't do that. And instantly, I don't know what it was, but I went right over to all them Encyclopedia Britannicas, and I grabbed the A. And I grabbed it, I took it out, I sat right next to him on the floor, the same way he was laying on the floor. He was laying on his belly with his arm like that, and the encyclopedia he could,
Oh, he was really.
So I
in
was
it.
like, I'm a model your whole shit. I copied his posture, the whole thing, the way he was putting his finger under the word. And I opened that book, and the first word was aardvark.
Was what?
Aardvark.
Wow.
And I knew it like I was a grown man.
Yeah.
I read every single word on that page like an adult. And I was like, the fuck? I ain't never did this shit before.
Yeah.
Because after aardvark comes some other interesting word that I'd never seen before that I shouldn't be able to pronounce at 5. So I was like, your brain is different. You can pick up on things. So I would only focus on things I wanted to pick up on. I saw this street artist drawing one day, and I thought it was cool that this guy could take a pencil and paper and recreate the thing he was seeing. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. So
I started drawing all the time, and I got real good at drawing when I was just a kid. But I wouldn't leave the house without a notebook. So So early on I knew something different.
And just for everybody who doesn't understand Encyclopedia Britannica, because that's a real throwback. Because some of y'all are too young. We used to have door-to-door salesmen on this, really putting you up on game. There was no Google back then. So Rich and I, we aging ourselves a little bit,
Just a little
but
bit, just a little
but
bit.
that's a real game for y'all lazy out there that just can Google. but
Yeah,
I love that story, man.
we couldn't do the Google shit back
Nah.
then. But so yeah, so I started getting tested all the time, aptitude tests and all that shit. So I ended up in all these gifted programs,
Okay.
and so that just ended up being like first grade all the way through was like gifted programs. And it's just academia, it's regular shit, which you think is cool when you're a kid, because it is cool. You're a kid and you're super smart, and everyone's like impressed by it. That's very cool. It makes you feel good about yourself. You get to go on these trips. You're doing, quiz bowls and mathalons and all this shit. It feels cool. You winning prizes. You getting trophies and plaques and shit. It feels great until you get to middle school and they start kicking your ass for the same thing.
Yep.
Like the same thing that got you all the glory in grade school, now gets you tormented every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm in middle school, and we moved from Germany. We moved to the States. So I'm in Little Rock, but I'm still,
Where?
still super gifted, super smart, real quiet, real introvert. And my parents, man, they ain't know no better, so they had me going to school looking like a victim. Like, who we gonna fuck up today? Him! You know what I'm saying? It was just like that. It's like, oh, guys, not again. You got me yesterday. And so this shit was just, it was terrible. I hated middle school. I hated middle school until a certain point.
Okay.
I hated middle school until I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fight these niggas back.
Yeah.
And then that did something. I was like, oh, it only hurts when you don't fight. You know what I'm saying? It only hurts when you don't fight back.
Wow, that's
when
a
you
whole
fight
word
back,
right there.
like you don't feel nothing, and you may fuck around and
win.
catch them with one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so this is how we move now. We don't move this other way. So middle school, that was like it. There's a line. If you cross the line, I'm at it. I don't care what the outcome is. We at it.
Yeah.
So that stopped, but it's still like I've always like really, really, really pretty girls. You know what I mean? And I think that's the big motivation behind all of the fashion shit, all of everything. I think the motivation for a lot of men moving the way they move is, their desire to appeal. So I still had this desire to appeal to the audience I didn't appeal to. Them girls didn't like me. I dressed like a 7-year-old. I was like 13. My mom cut my hair. She's not a barber. Shit. My mom can't cut paper. What she cut my hair
Now
for?
you got the blue fade. You out here with it. Look, there it is.
So, I was like, damn, man, I'm stuck. Okay. I learned how to fight. I'm learning how to fight. I'm doing this. I'm gaining this, that, and the other, but I still don't have the girl's attention. And there was this one girl that I went to school with. Her name was Tambra. She was a black cheerleader. She dated the captain of the basketball team, the football team. She was like the it girl, right? And I had the biggest crush on like what she represented. She was it. Like she was number one. And then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, but one. She's number one. And I was fascinated with the idea of someone being number one, and then who gets number one. And so I ended up tutoring her. Like I'm a math whiz.
Yeah.
And so she needed some help in math. The teacher pretty much volunteered me to tutor her. I'm like, shit, like, man, you
Perfect.
know perfect, but not perfect. It's like, man, shit, I'm shy as shit. But now we in this classroom, it's just the two of us, like 45 minutes twice a week.
Okay.
So it's just us, dolo. And I reason, like, rather than do the standard middle school shit, trying to crush on her and shit, by the way, I always, all that goofy shit, it was like, let's do something that's going to get us somewhere. That's not going to be it. All it's going to do is make her uncomfortable. It's going to make you uncomfortable. She has some information that you need access to. She is a pretty girl, so she clearly know what pretty girls like. Don't do this the hard way. So I made a deal with her. I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to strike up a little deal with you. You need to understand math. I got you. I need to understand girls.
Wow.
I need your help. And I was like, theoretically.
What age is this?
13.
13, you running real strategy out
Oh
here.
yeah. I was different.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
was like, like, what would it take hypothetically for a guy like me to end up with a girl like you? Not you, but like you. What does it take? What do y'all look for? What's that defining characteristic? And she was like, that was a good ass question.
Yeah.
And so she just gave me a list of shit. Like, girls like guys that play sports. Girls like guys that smoke. Girls like guys that are tough guys and that drive, all this shit. And none of these things I could do. I'm not athletic. I couldn't do none of that shit. So I'm doing all these things that I'm failing at, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is terrible. And so it was our last day in the tutoring session. She got everything she needed, and I still don't know what to do. And she was like, damn, you couldn't do none of that shit? And I was like, nah. She was like, well, look, honestly, I think if you dress better, girls might like you. Like, you're a nice guy, and girls do think you cute, but you dress like a kid. Like, ain't no girl gonna fool with you dressing like this.
Wow.
So, and I was like, so if I dress different, like, but I'm still like nerdy and shit. They're like, oh, they don't care about that. Girls like that. You just can't dress like that. You can be nerdy and quiet and shy. You can be everything you are. You don't have to change none of that shit. If you just change the way you dress. I was like,
13.
13. So I was like, all right, so what's that called? She was like, I think it's called fashion. And I was like, bet.
I'm really over here trying to imagine these 13-year-olds having this super deep convo.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
That's amazing. And this is in where were you guys again?
Little Rock, Arkansas, bro.
Little Rock, Arkansas. Shout out to Scott Wesley. And
Straight
and
up.
what was beautiful, man. So Venture Noir is my nonprofit, which is our sponsor of bringing all this together.
Okay.
Is based in Fayetteville
Wow.
and Bentonville, Arkansas.
Wow. Yep.
So
I used to be
right
in Fayetteville
there.
every now and then.
Yeah, right there. That is beautiful.
So yeah, Rich Fresh got the fashion bug in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Straight up.
13 years old.
13. So.
And what was her name again? Because we gotta give her a shout out.
Yeah, her name was her name now is Tamara Harden. She's married to a good friend of mine, Earl Harden. But her maiden name was Tamara Futrell. Yeah, we were at Horace Mann Middle School in Little Rock, Arkansas.
I know that very well.
Yeah.
Well, Tamara, thank you so much for inspiring this brother
Oh yes.
to bring all his gifts to the world. So salute to you, ma'am. Salute to you.
Straight up. But yeah, so that was like that. That was that. That was Little Rock. So after she said the fashion thing, I went to a library. I was like, let me find some fashion shit. So I went to a little, the card catalog, and I looked up fashion. And there was 2 entries. One was a Calvin Klein biography, and the other one was a Ralph Lauren biography.
Okay.
I checked them both out. I read them both in like a week. And that was it. That was my.
They hyping her up over there. She doing a full. Give it to him.
You better work. That's so wild. Shout out August. Over there modeling, doing her thing. So I checked out both of the books, read them real quick, and I love Ralph Lauren. Ralph lip shits like he reinvented himself.
Yeah.
And he, an immigrant, redefined American fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Ralph Lauren is the staple of Americana. When you think about American fashion, it's an immigrant.
Absolutely.
So
military, varsity,
you know what I mean?
etc. Yeah.
All that
amazing.
Shit. Western.
Yeah.
So that was inspiring. And then Calvin Klein's was a little different because he was like a rock star. He was a bad boy, and his thing was just edgier, and I really took to that. He dated all the models and shit, so I just thought it was like damn, that's some flyboy shit. I didn't know that fashion designers, they get down like this. And he sewed. So Calvin Klein could sew. And I read that he could sew, and I thought to myself, that's it. If you know how to sew, you can do what Calvin Klein does. He makes all his own clothes, thinking that he makes the shit. He didn't make the shit. But I just told myself, if you learn how to sew, you can one day direct you can control the direction that fashion goes in, at least for yourself, you know. And so,
Man, this is beautiful.
yeah,
This is beautiful.
like, you know, when people wonder, like, man, how are you so driven to do all the shit you do? And I feel like I haven't even done shit yet. Like, I'm just scratching the surface. It's like I've always been driven. Like,
Yeah.
I've always just had a no bullshit mindset. I don't spend time playing video games. I don't read fiction. I'm very much tapped into like what's real, where we going.
Yeah.
So, we had a sewing machine at the house. I never seen it. Like, it was just in the towel closet. It was just down the bottom. This is like this little vintage cream colored case, and you.
All our
Like,
moms, you have to pop it off the
yeah,
top.
that was it.
Absolutely.
And I was like, man, they never touched this thing. I bet if it comes up missing, they ain't gonna know it's missing. You know, my pops was super militant, so there will be no sewing in the house. Not his oldest son. He ain't gonna be doing that shit now. No, we won't be doing that. And so I just snuck it in my room.
Wow.
And just like covertly taught myself how to thread it. I taught myself how to use it entirely for like 5 years. And from 13 until I graduated high school, I just, on the low, would sew. I would just make shit and then get rid of it. Make shit just to know I could do it, get rid of it. And then
And were you getting patterns? Were you just
yeah, I would go to Walmart. Like,
Okay.
when my mom would go shopping, cause she'll talk to anything.
Yeah.
Someone walk up and sneeze, and next thing you know, she in a 10-minute conversation with them. So I'd go with
That's
her,
my mom.
right? And I break off, and I go hit, you know, and it's Walmart, so I'm hitting
Yeah.
their little McCall's pattern and shit. Grab me a little quick pattern for this little cute dress. I need 2.5 yards of this. I need a yard of this. I need half a yard of this. I need a zipper. I need this. Let me go get all these things, buy it, leave it under the car, come back in. Like, Mom, where are you? I was looking all over the place. And then when I go get in the car, it's my shit. I'm good to go.
Wow.
So that was how I did it, and I just kept it a secret. But, you know, I skipped up a little bit. So 13, you know, I'm teaching myself how to sew. I'm learning this thing. And I start looking at all the fashion books, like Vogue. You know, you couldn't find GQ in Little Rock.
No.
You could find Cosmo.
It's hard to find GQ anywhere actually.
Yeah.
Today, still.
Damn.
Distribution is limited. Yeah.
Well, it was super limited in Little Rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit. I don't even think we had Vogues, but we had Cosmo, and I would flip through all of them because it was the closest thing that we had to like fashion, and I just noticed that all the women in all these campaigns, yeah, they were beautiful, they were like gorgeous, they were stunning, but the guys in the background all looked a certain way.
Yeah.
They all this shit was together. Their clothes fit a certain way. Like, everything was done a certain way. And I just figured it would make a lot of sense to look like the guy that's always in the picture with the models. You know what I mean? So
Very logical.
yeah, it was very logical. It was like, you know.
Okay.
And so that was it. I was like, okay, cool. This is how I'm gonna dress. And so my dad gets a new job, and we moved from Little Rock to Memphis.
Oh,
Now
wow.
I'm 15. So now I've been on this way for like 2 years. I've been wearing some of my homeboys' clothes to school, but it's too big on me because he's like 60 pounds bigger than me.
Yeah.
And so I'm having to tie the belt, and it's got my shit all bunched up. I got the brands now because he had all the brands, but the shit don't fit right, and that gave me a complex about the way clothes fit.
Okay.
So now I'm like, damn, I like the brands, but I hate shit that don't fit. Oh, it's so annoying. So we moved to Memphis. And in the ride going to Memphis, you know, I'm kind of sad because I'm leaving all my friends and shit. And there's this girl that I liked, and she finally said she liked me. I'm like, why, God, why? You know? And now we going to Memphis? I don't know nobody in Memphis. I ain't never been no fucking Memphis before. And then God spoke and was like, exactly. Check this out. You tripping, dog. You're going somewhere where no one's ever seen you. That means there's no stigma. You ain't got no reputation that's following you. You can be whoever you want to be.
Wow.
You need to spend this car ride determining how you want to present yourself and do just that. So now I'm like, oh shit.
Reinvention.
Yeah. So that's the first time that I reinvented myself. I was like, all right, cool. Because I was the most insecure kid you'd ever seen. Like, I didn't want anyone to look at me because I didn't feel my worth. You know what I mean? I had braces. I just wasn't feeling myself. And I decided in that car ride I was going to change all that, like psychologically. You're gonna feel yourself, like over feel yourself. You're gonna be the most confident teenager anyone's ever seen. You're gonna be the freshest. Ain't no one ever seen a teenager as fresh as you. All the girls gonna like you. All the niggas gonna wanna be just like you. Like, you have to like be in this space where you're the it kid now. You're the new it kid. And I just convinced myself that I could do that. So I get to town. It's the summer before high school starts. I worked 3 jobs that summer. Spent all my money on clothes. I was getting my haircuts. The dude that went to church with us, he cut my hair twice a week. So my waves was real silky.
They was sick. They was sick.
Real silky. You know, I was much lighter than I am now. Like, you know, so I was pretty fair skinned, and like that was different. Especially like dressing and acting the way I acted. Like, I didn't act like most of the guys who was like light skinned. And
some of y'all don't know the light skin act, but you know, if you want, you could check out the meme online. There's plenty of them. But you know, we're not gonna go into the colorism of our folks.
No,
but
exactly.
That's a shout out again to our age. We understand what that meant. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. You had the frown lines and the smirk. Okay,
man,
we got
the
you.
whole thing. You know.
And check. How are we on sound? I want to make sure you can hear them good. Okay.
So you know, I put together this whole look, this concept, and I remember first day of school, I just smacked him. I was like, you know, we're gonna put together something ostentatious, and it was colorful. It was layered. You know, it was like different layers. It was blues and yellows and tans and this and a little hint of green here, and I had the yellow polo backpack, and it was like,
and this is the 90s.
Fuck? Yeah, and it was like, who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah.
And I just had my swag. Like, my swag was right. You know, I took ballet when I was in Little Rock because I knew my walk was terrible. Like, I had duck feet. You know what I'm saying? My feet were too big. I used to trip. I was super clumsy and awkward. And I saw the dance instructor walking down the hall one day, and I was like, that's the most graceful walk I've ever seen. This guy has to teach me how to walk. And
bro,
so
your intentionality is like crazy.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I know you're playing back your history, but I see you as a kid thinking through this, like how observant and intentional you were about who you wanted to be.
Oh yeah.
And you like muscled that. Like, you made that happen. Yep. You said, all right, my walk isn't right. Let me fix my walk. And I just want to ask and make sure I'm clear. This was all with the goal in mind of, these are the women I want to be with.
That's it.
So that's my goal. I need to shape some stuff to accomplish my goal.
Absolutely.
And like, you know, in some regards, it's almost funny, right? That it's like about women, but it's so honest that it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
it's simple.
You had a goal and a vision, and it was clear, and a 13-year-old little lady told you all the ways that you could get someone like her, and you said, athlete, nope. You went down the list on the things she was saying until you got to the last one, and you said, oh, I could do that.
Yep.
And you did it.
Yep. Man,
this is like, this is wild. This is actually mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Jeff did not give me this story. So, please.
He told Jeff not to give you everything.
Yeah, no, he ain't give. Thank God. So I'm glad you're sharing this one. So you come in, you get to Memphis, you got all the layered clothes. You didn't just put together a vision.
Yeah, I got them.
Based off of some brothers that you've seen in the background of the magazine. So there's also a depth of the attention of where you're looking at these magazines. You've taught yourself to sew. You now are creating an image.
Right.
Wow.
So I crafted this image, which is pretty preppy. It's very together. It's very respectable. And then boom, I hit this new school in Memphis. And I didn't even get there. You know, the high school was 9th through 12th. I got there in the 10th grade.
Okay.
So I'd have lost a whole year of socialization. These folks had already picked their cliques.
Yeah.
And I done hopped in this new kid from Little Rock. And it was the easiest experience of my life.
Wow.
It was the easiest experience of my life. I ate high school up. Like I landed, and the second I landed, I was him. Now, and I've really been him ever since.
Yeah.
But like it was like, you know, I noticed like, damn, she can't stop looking at me, and neither can she. Like, I'm getting everybody's attention. What is getting the attention? What's getting the attention? I'm still in AP classes, still doing this. I'm still pretty quiet, real chill, real reserved, but I'm getting so much attention. The teachers love me. Everybody like, oh damn, it's these clothes. That's right. So I get more into it. Start, stepping it up. Now, my brother comes to the school the following year. He comes there in my 11th grade year.
Okay.
He didn't get the memo. So he wearing army fatigues, oversized shit, and he's getting the exact attention that warrants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I noticed, like, you're getting all the shit. You getting the fights. You getting the this, the that. I was like, hey, I got to holler at you, bro. It's not what you want. I think you want a different result. You want this result I'm getting. Let me put you up on game. So I'm going to change your whole thing. Now, switch his whole shit. Now, he pretty boy. All of a sudden, everything changed.
Wow.
He getting all the girls. Ain't nobody fucking with him. The teachers, like, everyone's like, they're viewing him different now. He even moving different. Because he's not moving like he's wearing combat apparel.
You know what's so beautiful about this, man, is, I'm a marketer, right? Like, by trade, and I've always been that. Because I think from a creative standpoint, I've always been creative, but I am not outwardly creative. So I did certain things to express my creativity without me speaking it.
Okay.
So that's how I got into fashion and clothes, because I knew I could control rooms based on the presence.
Right.
It's why I got into tattoos and things of that nature. Because for me, I come in, I'm 6'3", 265.
Yeah.
It's shoulders first. You getting all testosterone is what people are thinking, but actually, there's a whole different side.
Right.
And I think what's so special about what you're talking about is the authenticity of you and your brother. You're not shifting who you guys are at your core.
Right.
You're actually controlling how then people perceive it.
Absolutely.
And controlling that first interaction.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, my dad always has this saying, and it was something I was raised on that it sticks with me to this day. It's, people judge you on 6 feet, 6 inches, 6 words. And so it is, the 6 feet is how people walk up to you. There is a perception of who you are as you come in. Well, a lot of that is actually controlled through your fashion.
Straight up.
Right? The 6 inches was actually in the handshake. And so how you come in, right? As soon as you came in, just the dapping up, the love, and how we walk in, that's one,
right.
Another interaction. And then it's, what do you choose as the first 6 words to say? And what I love about what you're articulating is you started to control the 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Because who you were, being in AP classes and all this, it is what it is.
Right.
That's you. That's fresh all day. Liking the girls that you like, that was you all day. But you had to make sure that folks weren't coming at you the wrong way.
Right. Absolutely.
And you shifting that for your brother. And I think there's such a gem and a lesson in that for all of us. Like, look, man, we don't get a chance to hold conversations with everyone so that they get to know us.
Right.
Sometimes people, all they get is what they see.
That's it.
So be conscious of what they see.
Yeah.
And for you to build your empire off of that, off of something so personal, but then now lending that, because I think we all get to borrow that.
Absolutely.
And what we get to wear, from you, man, it's bigger than fashion.
It is.
like we need to come up with a new industry for what you're doing.
I figured at a certain point it's more spiritual. So I'm doing this thing in high school. I'm helping my brother out, and I'm seeing the result. I'm like, oh damn, that's dope. Then other kids at school start just approaching me like, man, how you put your colors together, bro? It's so interesting, man. Dude, I wish I could. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go shopping this weekend. You can just pull up. I'm be at the Wolf Chase. Slide me 20. You can just go shopping with me. I'll put you up on game while I'm shopping. So I'd have like 2 or 3 kids who just meet me on the weekend, and I'm shopping for myself.
$95 though is real.
Oh yeah,
pulling up some cash. Okay.
I was a hustler. Yeah, I was a real deal hustler in high school. And so, you know, I would still be shopping for myself. I'm just telling them why I'm getting what I'm getting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get this shirt because see how I play with these pants? All right, now watch what I do with the shoes. And that's what I was charging them for, just to explain to them why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Wow.
But then I started seeing the kids applying some of that. And I see them and I give little pointers and they make little changes. I started playing a little matchmaker. Dude be like, man, I really want to get that girl's attention. But I'm like, look, man, check me out. If you do this and you say this and do this and wear this type of shit, bro, it's going to be a piece of cake, you know? And then next thing you know, doom, 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 they just follow these steps and like, what the fuck? It really happened.
The real life Hitch.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've been
Before
on Hitch since... Listen, and there's a hitch story in San Diego. Like, I was hitching high school. I was hitching middle school. I was hooking dudes up with girls in middle school, and I wasn't getting no play. I could just see it for other people.
Yeah.
You know? And so that was the thing for me. I saw it for other people. So by the time I'm graduating, you know, I basically aced my ACTs. I had really nice GPA, so I had all these scholarship offers to go to all these big schools. And, you know, I'm flipping through, and none of them have anything to do with fashion. And I'm at this point like, man, you know, I owe fashion a debt of gratitude because, like, it changed my whole life. It changed my whole trajectory. I'm so confident. I dated all the bad chicks at this school. I'm one of the most popular kids. Life is great. I know how to fit into any room I want to fit in.
Yeah.
Just by the clothes I wear. I was like, all right, I got to figure out this fashion thing. I think I'm smart enough and passionate enough to figure out how to do this to help other people and make a lot of money at the same time. So I get home, I see all these scholarships. My parents are ecstatic. They're like, oh my God, we're so proud of you. And I'm like, yeah, well, see, look, so about that, I don't want to take any of these scholarships. I'm like, why? I was like, man, because, you know, it's just like regular business stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to go study fashion. And this is the first time they heard me say, I want to do fashion. They knew I bought clothes all the time.
But they didn't know you were sewing.
They didn't
You
know.
had taught yourself that.
They didn't know that this was real.
Wow.
And my dad was a drill sergeant, like an actual drill sergeant. He was a captain in the Army who had been a drill sergeant. And he was a hard ass. So he's hearing this and he like, boy, you done lost your mind. Man, you better stop playing around and pick one of these damn schools. And I'm like, but see, you don't understand. Ain't no school on here for me to pick. They ain't got no fashion. And so we got into a big clash, and I was like, I'm serious about this. I'm going to do this fashion thing, and I'm not going to ask permission. So, like, at this point, I'm 18, man. I'm going to have to make these decisions, and I don't want to go the next 20, 30 years doing some stuff for money that I don't like doing. I want to do fashion. I'm going to figure this out. And so I ended up not taking any of those scholarships and just having to kind of, like, thug it out, you know. So I watched all my friends go off to school. And, you know, we got into it. My dad put me out. So I ended up going to the U of M because they offered me room and board. Okay. And I was like, I just need some place to stay. So I went there. They had an architecture program. So I started taking like some prerequisites, but I didn't declare because I'm still like, I'm not going to say that I'm doing architecture because mentally I don't want to trick myself into doing it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So I do that. I'm there for a year, dropped out. I failed both semesters. I didn't care. I didn't want to be there. And then I just started doing little odd jobs, just like regular shit, just working wherever I could work. Broke, 19. You know, I had a girlfriend. And I'm just a broke kid.
And this is all in Miami?
No, this is all in Memphis.
Memphis?
Miami, I wish.
Oh, you went to U of M Memphis?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I could have made it work in Miami. I just sit at the beach and get inspired. Memphis? No, sir. So, you know, I'm broke in Memphis. And
yeah, that's a different broke.
It's a different type of broke.
Yeah.
But I'm still sewing all the time. Like, I'm making little dresses for my girlfriend's nieces. So I'm like, damn, I love this fashion shit. I ended up getting fired from a job. I was a bank teller. Funny how I went from a teller to a tailor. So I was a bank teller and got fired from my job on some bullshit. And I just vowed, like, I don't like this. I don't like someone being in control of me like that. Like, you gonna fire me over this bullshit? Mm. I'm not gonna do this job thing no more. I need to find something else to do. So I decided I was gonna do alterations because I'm mathematically sound. and I know like I alter all my stuff.
Wow, the connectivity of
Oh yeah,
that.
it's all math. It's all like I'm very precise. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm and I OCD, so I'm very symmetrical. So I was like, I'm doing it to my clothes anyhow because I'm a slim dude. Nothing fits me. I'm having to take my stuff in. I was hustling that in college, just making a little, random money. I'm like, if I brand myself as this, I'm young, maybe it'll work. I can probably go and apprentice or intern somewhere and get lots of skill and knowledge. Wrong. No one would take me on.
Wow.
And I went everywhere like, yo, I want to just come work for free. I want to learn. I was like, oh, hell no, get out of here.
Wow.
Get out of here, little black kid. I'm not teaching you shit. And I'm like, damn, like, bro, I said I work for free.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to teach you. You'll rise up and be my competition one day. I was like, damn, that's how you think?
It's true.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I'll
look at him now.
Right.
Y'all could have got a shout out on the podcast.
Could have got a shout out. In fact, one of the tailors told me, it was the other reason that really made me want to go hard, because I was still on the fence, like, but this dude, he was like, why do you want to be a tailor? I told him I thought it was cool. Thought it was the coolest thing in the world. He's like, oh, no, you young kids, go do computer stuff. Like, you don't need to do this. The tailors are broke. You just go do something else. Go do computer stuff. I was like, nah, man, like I'm pretty smart. I can figure it out. No, you won't figure it out. No one can figure it out. You'll never get rich doing it. You'll never make $1 million tailoring. And I said, you motherfucker. Don't no one tell me. My dad can't tell me what I can't do. I know you ain't finna tell me what I can't do. Now I gotta do it. I gotta do it multiple times.
Ooh.
And so that drove
me. A million times.
Oh yeah,
okay.
So that drove me, and I started a company, because again, just reasoning like, okay, I'm doing alterations, but I'm not getting any money because I can't get enough volume. I need volume. Where can I get volume of alterations? Dry cleaners. Dry cleaners take in alterations, but dry cleaners don't be having tailors on site. You're going to put together a wholesale company, and you're going to wholesale the alterations for these dry cleaners. You're going to play middleman.
Wow.
And so I was 21 and I built that business, and I went from, again, being broke like $12 an hour to making a cool $100,000 a year. So, things change. My dad is now like, okay, I see what you do. I see what you was talking about.
That's captain money.
Yeah, it's like, okay, young man. And so I did that for a year, and then I decided I'd open a cleaners downtown, since I'm downtown and I see this need. I opened the cleaners. I thought it was just a best thing ever. I had this big write-up in the paper, and my first business, I was doing business with a bunch of cleaners.
And this is all Memphis.
All Memphis.
Man, you killing that town.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, like I'm a legend in Memphis.
Yeah.
Like I've been a legend since I was in my early 20s, but now I'm a legend in Memphis.
Ooh, shout out to Memphis, man.
Yeah,
you put them
Memphis
on the map right there.
Yeah, straight up.
Memphis in May. That's what I know.
Bill Street.
Real.
Drunk on Bill.
Regularly.
Right. So, I started this business, everything's cool until it ain't, Me opening the cleaners I was in business with got salty. I got the front page on the business, and they was like, oh no.
You too big. Yeah.
Nah, withdraw the business. So real quick, I went from having all these accounts to like having 5.
Wow.
And then the cleaners wasn't doing that great. My relationship wasn't going that great, so she was just rocky. I shut that down. So I had the cleaners for like 2 years, closed it. But that was a gift, because that was my last storefront. I ain't had a storefront since I was 24 years old.
Wow.
And but I started doing personal tailoring. Like, people would hit me and they're like, yo, hey bro, and I had some clothes I needed to have to clean, bro. Can I? Like, nah, man, I shut down the cleaners, man. I can't even do it. Damn. Well, that's all good. I can find another cleaners, but can you still alter my stuff?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but I mean, I ain't got no spot you can pull up. No, it's cool. You can just pull up on me. I was like, what's that called? Concierge. You're going to brand yourself as a concierge tailor. You just pull up on people. You make it easy for them. So I rebranded myself as a concierge tailor in Memphis. Started doing my thing. Still broke, but, making livable money. And then I just tapped out. I was like, I've maxed out everything I could do in Memphis. You know, I was going through divorce, and I was just tired of Memphis. So
Yeah.
I moved to New York. I took a job in New York, Hickey Freeman, tailoring there. And then I had a second job. I was tailoring for this company that was linked with Brioni. So I'm doing like real intricate stuff all day, every day. And I'm the only kid in all these tailor shops. Everybody else is 70 years old. Yeah,
you're very high-end legacy stuff.
Yeah. And I'm in my mid-20s at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that for almost a year, and then housing crashed in '08. So I lost both my jobs within like 2 weeks of each other. Moved back to Memphis. It's a crazy story, man. Moved back to Memphis, and shortly after, I ended up getting custody of my daughter. Because, like, her mom just wasn't ready, and it just wasn't the move. So I was like, nah, I'll handle this. So I ended up getting custody of my daughter. And then I started making bags because...
And she's how old? How old's your daughter?
2.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's 2 at this point.
Got a baby.
You know, I'm making bags all day because I'm at home with her all day. Alteration comes, and it's like, whatever. I might get some alteration work, might not, but I'm bored. But I got fabric. Let me make something that's not size dependent. What can I just make because I feel like making it? I can make bags. So I started making these little bags out of just whatever, little vinyl, little just random shit. But I had a cool concept, and people started buying them. Next thing you know, I'm like, my bags were known in Memphis. Like, everybody was buying these bags. So
that's such an entrepreneur story,
bro. I've done everything, man.
But you're a true entrepreneur, man. You're a true builder. And it's interesting because the life stages push people into entrepreneurship a lot of times. So these like drastic changes. So a lot of people, when they get married, start a business. Get divorced, start a business. Have a kid, start a business.
Right.
You know, get fired, start a business.
Right.
You have all of those things, and it's interesting to see how it's propelled you to become every step. You call it broke, but not really.
Right.
You're just building.
You're just more motivated.
Yeah, it's just relative.
Right.
Like it's broke relative to the step that you're at and where you want to go.
Right.
Because there's a lot of folks that would kill to be at some of those steps.
Oh yeah.
You know, you talk about making $100,000, you know, plus at 21.
Right.
I remember being at West Point, man, and we were at the #1 school in the world, hoping to make 6 figures, because we just hadn't been exposed to it. So it's really wild, man, to hear you go through your arc in this way.
Oh yeah, and it's ups and downs, Jack.
yeah, but you know what? It's not really ups and downs. It's all up, actually.
Yeah, because it's all progress.
It's still progress. You have this what I'm hearing you talk is you have this like unbelievable bias towards just action.
Oh yeah.
Like there's like no stopping moment.
No.
In your story.
No.
Every year you're going through and there's progression because there's activity.
Yeah, I last winter I took the first vacation I took since I was 21 years old. I ain't been on a vacation since I was 21.
Wow.
I never stopped. I didn't have the money, or I was, raising my kid, but I just don't have this thing that's like it's time to play. Like I don't like to sit down and watch TV. I don't feel like it's time to play. It's like there's always something else that you need to be doing, so it's not playtime.
Said it's real life.
No, it's real shit. And so I'm doing my thing. I'm taking care of this kid. I'm taking care of my daughter.
Your kid.
Exactly.
That's when I say I'm babysitting. Look, I'm a 1-week-old father right now. I'm like, yeah, man, I got to babysit tonight. I've been telling people. They're like babysit.
Well, actually,
I was like, well, I guess technically I'm taking care of my kid.
Right. So, but it was a good thing, and then it's a good thing because like we just identified, it motivates you differently.
Yeah.
To move certain ways, and I've done everything. I was a private chef for like a year. Just because I can cook really well. And I can cook so well, people will pay me to cook for them. Well, cool. Pay me to cook for 15 people.
Yeah.
I've done everything. I built websites, designed business cards, I sold weed, I did all this stuff. And so finally it was just like, damn, this is it. And, my brother had gotten fired from his job in Nashville, so he didn't know what he was going to do. I was like, bro, just, you can pull up down here, you know what I mean? You can just crash here for a minute, regroup. I had a 300 square foot studio.
Wow.
300 square feet. That's like a 15 by 20, and then that's it. And the kitchen, everything is comprised within that 15 by 20. It was tiny.
That's a New York studio, though.
Yeah, that was exactly. No, that's a New York penthouse.
Yeah, straight up.
Like 300 square feet. Oh my God, it's so spacious.
What do you do with all that?
And so, my brother moves in, and now it's 2 grown men and my daughter's 4 at this time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this ain't it. This ain't it. We got to do something different. So we just decided to just move. I'm like, you know what? We never been to the West Coast. Let's go. And so I had like $500. My brother had a few thousand, and we just decided to leave. And we drove across the country to San Diego.
Wow.
Never been there before. Didn't know anyone.
What year was this?
This is 2000.
Wow.
It's 2000. No, 2010.
2010.
Yeah, 2010.
I got to San Diego 2005. That's where my first stop was after college.
San Diego was brutal.
Oh, I loved it. I had a time there.
San Diego was a nightmare.
I'm going to keep mine off camera.
Right.
But please, continue, sir.
We need photo proof of your good time.
No, I don't need any proof of mine. And if anyone has it, burn it,
right.
please.
That was not me. That was my twin.
Yeah.
I introduced you to him once.
I got a bunch of doppelgangers out there.
Why are they talking like me? But yeah, so, we moved to San Diego. By the time I get to San Diego, I've gone from 300 to 200. So I got $200 now, and I got a kid. And I don't have any prospect of doing any, I don't have a job waiting for me. I didn't come out here for a job. So I start my alterations business back up. I get me some dry cleaners. It was like a quick hustle. So real quick, I built something up, making a little bit, probably, bringing in $1,200 a week or something. But, it's still something. It's coming in. And then, man, shit just got crazy, man. My dad passed real suddenly.
Damn.
And so that just kind of, it shook everything. And then when I came back, I didn't want to do the alterations thing no more. I didn't want to do that thing anymore. I was like, I don't want to be here looking in people's face all day. I need to be on something else. So, I just went back to just doing one-on-one, just dealing with individuals, building relationships, altering people's clothes, helping them figure out what to wear, that type of shit. But I wasn't doing custom. Okay. I wasn't making any clothes. I was just the guy that can make anything fit perfect.
Look better.
So, I bet you want to find out how I got into making custom clothes. Of course you do. So, this stylist in San Diego had connected me with this guy. She's like, hey, shout out Majuba. We ended up falling out because she didn't like the fact that I stunted. Some people don't like when you stunt and you blow past where they think you should have blown past, but it's okay.
That's insecurity, though. I always say insecurity can't stand too close to greatness.
It can't.
It's just a fact.
Straight up. So, but she introduced me to this guy, Bobby. And Bobby had this suit that he needed to have recut. He got married in it. It was an Armani suit, but he lost 40, 50 pounds, so it don't fit.
No.
Fortunately for me, while I was in New York, that's all I did was recuts.
Yeah.
So I took the sleeves off, recut the shoulder. Yeah. I opened the pant. I took the waistband off. I remade his shit to fit the new him. I took the side end, redid the sides. It was beautiful. He put the suit on and was like, I can't believe this. Yeah. Literally, he was like, how is this even possible, bro? This fits perfectly. And I was like, man, I'm just the best at what I do. You know what I mean? My brother standing right there. We dressed all nice. I'm like, yeah, I'm just that guy. He's like, man, how much I owe you? And I was like, check this out. $400? Yeah, $400. Yeah. And he was like, oh, that's it? Sweet. And when he said, oh, that's it, sweet, and he reached for his checkbook, something said, wait just a second.
I done fucked up. Should have been more.
Why did he say, it wasn't even that, why did he say sweet? Why did he say sweet? You just said $400. Hey, Bobby, how much was that suit? How much did you pay for that suit? Oh, this one? Oh, Armani? I don't know, maybe $3,000? I was like, what the fuck did you just say? He's like, dude, I got a closet full of He opens his closet and he ain't had nothing but Armani, Zegna, Canali. And I was like, yo, okay, I'm getting the wrong dollar. I'm
Yeah.
settling for the small dollar. I want that dollar. And so he said,
Game.
oh yeah, no, that was
Real
it.
game right there when
And
the light bulb hits.
bro asked me, he's like, I need all these cut. None of these fit. Can you alter these? I said, hell no. And that was it.
I'll make you from scratch.
I said, hell no. Yeah, I'll hit you back soon when I'm in a different position. I'm not altering anything else. So I left. I called a buddy of mine who was a tailor and was like, yo, I need a source to make custom suits. I don't need who you're currently using. I need who you used to use. Make them good. Like, make sure it's someone good, but I don't want who you're using right now. I want who you used to use. Introduce me to them. I need to run a play. He set that up. Next thing you know, boom, I'm in business. I got a little custom situation. Still, operating off shoestring, but I'm doing some things. Next thing you know, I meet this Swedish kid dressed like a hitchhiker. Me and my brother dressed like players. And and he wanted to meet with us later and just talk about some things. And we met him at this cigar bar, and we super fresh. We showed up by ourselves. We got there a little early. So next thing you know, about 5 or 6 women who was there before we got there end up making their way over to our booth.
Of course.
So now me and my brother just sitting chilling. We ain't buying nobody drinks because we ain't got no money. We sleeping on a chick couch, what they don't know. Me and my brother are sharing a woman's couch. It's this side. This is my side, and that's his side.
And your daughter.
No, my daughter, I had to fly her out to stay with my mom.
Okay.
Because I was in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And so we're just chilling. He shows up. He's like, yo, what the fuck? And so he didn't even come and sit with us. He wanted to watch. So when we was done and the girls started moving around doing their thing, he's like, yo, dude, are you guys rich or something? He's like, nah, bro, we just got game. He was like, dude, whatever you guys have, I want it. And I was like, bet, it's going to cost you. He said, bet. So next thing you know, I was like, all right, hitch. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to need you to cut your hair like this. You're going to start wearing clothes like this. You're going to do this. You're going to eat here. You're going to do this. When you meet a chick, here's how you approach her. Don't say that shit. Don't ever say that bullshit. No. Say this. Repeat it. Okay, try it again. All right, cool. And then, so I was just giving him game.
Yeah.
I told him what car to buy. He's like, oh, man, we found out he was rich. We didn't know this because he didn't dress like a rich person. But turns out this kid was rich.
Yeah.
And so, and he was Swedish. So, like, he was just different. It's like, man, if you had it together, bro, you would eat him up.
Yeah.
But you not together. He's like, man, I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini. I'm like, nah, bro, don't buy a Lambo. People don't respect Lambos. They're not going to respect Lambos. Old folk are going to think that you're a douchebag. And young people just going to want to take advantage of you because you got a Lambo. What kind of car should I get? You need a Maserati. So get a Maserati Quattroporte. What color? Navy. He showed up the next day with a Navy Maserati.
Wow. He eating up everything you saying.
Everything. And but everything I told him was going to happen happened. The women are going to be on your ass, Jack. I'm telling you. This man calling me like, bro, how in the world is this even happening? Dude, I just had 2 girls. Everything that never happened, the shit that was happening for me and my brother was all of a sudden his reality now. So we ended up going to business together, doing some sidebar shit. We created a hangover cure. But we've been real cool. And like before we knew that he was rich, we got back up on our feet. We had this cool loft, and his the person he was renting from it like abruptly come back, so he needed to move. He's like, bro, just come crash at our spot. You with us all the time anyhow. We got a big ass couch, bro. You just post up here until you figure it out. So by just extending the olive branch, he did the same. He was like, turns out, guys, I'm rich. I really appreciate what you guys did. So this is what we're gonna do. We finna get a mansion. We finna do some baller shit.
Wow.
So I don't know if you know about Santa Luz in San Diego.
Yeah.
We had a crib in Santa Luz. We was on some other shit.
Oh yeah.
So we were like young, me
Yeah.
and my brother black. This dude white, my daughter, and we in this like $4 or $5 million villa, chilling. Got his own vineyard. Like we living.
Yeah.
Maserati, So we living a life. Everything is great until it wasn't. And then the guy with the money pulls the money. Our shit was tied in with it. Next thing you know, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So 2012, we go from being up here, like literally we're becoming like I mean, we're developing a solid cult following in San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, and people are like, yo, them the dudes that be doing the mansion parties in Santa Luz. 'Cause we was doing parties. We throw parties. We had you come up, get drunk, and then cure you. So we go from being up here to being back on the couch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with San Diego. I'm moving to LA.
Okay.
So 2013, I moved to LA. I get a job at the Beverly Center, working at Xenia.
Shout out to the Beverly Center.
Shout out to Beverly
That's where
Center.
I grew up.
Straight up.
Yep.
I had never even been in the Beverly Center until I got the job there. And so that's it. So now I'm living in LA. I'm staying on this guy's futon who I just met. Cool dude. And I'm going to work. My brother's watching my daughter for a second, but then she ends up coming up for probably like 6 to 8 months. And then her mom hits me up and was like, yo, I've been a terrible mom. I got married, blah, blah, blah. I have a stepson. I got to make this right. Can I connect with Ava? Can we build up? And I was like, for sure. That's important. So I agreed to let my daughter go live in New York for a couple of years. So I'm just grinding. Now I'm depressed because,
Yeah.
So I'm grinding, I'm
So
depressed.
used to having your daughter,
It's like someone cutting off your hand and then saying, catch. And you're like, damn. So I was in a bad spot. And then I was still dealing with my dad. I hadn't processed why. And then I was broke. So I was like still in this perpetual state. And shit just got wild, man. I mean, I was, cocaine cowboys, baby. Coke will make you forget about all kind of shit until it make you remember it again. So coke and
Just
alcohol.
say no, y'all. Just say no to drugs.
Yeah, please say no.
Yep.
Please say no, unless it's like weed.
That's legal. That's
It's legal some places. So, I'm going through my thing, and then things got weird at Xenia. So I decide to leave. I'm like, nah, they're pulling the thing. They're pulling the thing that they like to do when you're the only black guy on the floor and you're the top guy in sales and you seem to have quote unquote power.
Yep.
And I saw it clear as day, and I saw my dad deal with the same shit when he was working. And my dad had always put something on me. He's like, he knew I wanted to be rich because I used to watch Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with him when I was a kid.
Robin Leach.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Yeah.
And so he asked me one day, he's like, you like all this stuff, don't you? I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, all the boats and homes? Like, yes, sir, I want all of that. He's like, you got to be rich to get all that stuff, right? Yes, sir. He's like, no, you got to be really rich to get all that stuff. I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, so you want to get rich one day? I'm like, absolutely. It's like, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret of getting rich. You ready? You'll never get rich working for nobody. And then he left the room.
Wow.
So I was like, shit. So when this is happening at Xenia and I'm getting this treatment and I'm reflecting on how like the shit that my dad had to deal with in some of his jobs, I'm like, I don't want to do the job thing anymore. Like, I don't like the way I'm treated. Anytime I work a job, I never like the way I'm treated because I always want to give value, and that value is seen as a threat. I can't grow someplace where I'm constantly perceived as a threat. So let me just start my own shit.
That's a bar right there, though. I mean, we got to pause on that for a second. Can't be somewhere where the value is perceived as a threat.
You know what I mean? Anytime I bring a good idea, it's perceived as a threat. I'm just supposed to shut up and just clock in and clock out.
You know what's crazy? Like, I have to pause on that because you give it so much heat, man, in your story, and I want to make sure folks take a second to dissect what you're saying. Because, listen, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, and you were okay, actually, being an employee at that moment.
I wanted to grow with them.
Right? Like, you were okay, but if you find yourself working for somebody, or if you realize that you're a manager or an owner of something, and when people are coming to you with value and you are threatened by that, you ain't gonna make it.
No, you're in trouble.
You ain't gonna make it because that store missed out on you today that's sitting up here on this show.
That store didn't last 6 months after I quit.
Somebody's sick right now.
Oh, yeah. No, that store was gone 6 months after I quit. They shut the store.
Don't let value pass you. Yo, that's be thankful for it, because not everybody's gonna give you value.
Straight up.
So, man, I had to pause. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to pause on that, because that's a hell of a statement.
I mean, it's real, man. Most people just want to take, and I'm just in the mindset like, if you bring the value, the money always comes.
Always.
You know, people are so concerned. Well, how much money are you gonna give me? If you tell me how much money you give me, then maybe I'll think about giving. Show me some value. The money's guaranteed.
The value always comes. The work comes before the reward. We always say that.
You know, and
Straight
so
up.
I was big on that. So I put value up. I spent my personal time to do something I thought was of value, and it was perceived as a threat. And I got a bullseye on me at that point. It was like, no. I'm coming to work every day. I got anxiety. You folk, doing little snide shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just start a business. I know how to make suits. Let me start a business. I'm gonna create these little social events. I call it the Scotch Sartorial. Real secretive, real sexy, beautiful women cocktailing, and people will just show up, and I'm gonna sell them suits. I'm a great salesman. I was Zinnia's #1 salesman.
Yeah.
And so I put that together on a shoestring like nothing. I had 2 suits that I made, a gray one and a gray window pane, but I had swatch books.
Okay.
And I put this thing together in like a couple weeks. I blasted it out. Before Instagram, it's just like a very mysterious way that I went about doing it.
Yeah,
and
so
it got
how were you
people
blasting
talking
it
about
out? I want to,
so
go into that.
my brother was an internet marketer back in the day, so he was always doing landing pages.
Okay.
And forms that would lead you to like the next page or whatever. So I
Oh, y'all, he taking off
yeah,
the
man,
rich
get
fresh.
hot, get
Look,
hot,
look,
you know what I mean?
look. He flexing on him now. You got the t-shirt. Y'all peep the details, man. His brother laying it
Rich
out.
fresh t-shirt. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna build a landing page that has a form, and people would have to enter their information. That way I can keep up with them and I can remind them of the event, keep them up to date. So I put it together. It was very sexy. It was just an all black background. There was nothing in it. It was just all black. And it said Scotch Tutorial, a made to measure event. Enter your name, email for access.
Okay.
It was like, it was name, email. So people sent the name, email, and the next page, like the confirmation was this nude silhouette, like a woman's nude silhouette. No face, no, below the hip line, but it was enough to be enticing.
Yeah.
I didn't show any clothes.
Wow.
I just said a made to measure experience, and I showed a woman's silhouette. My business card, same thing, was all black on one side. The other side was a woman's silhouette. And I would just leave them places. If I went to go get coffee, I would just leave one on the counter. If I went to a restaurant, I would just leave one. Next thing you know, people started checking it out.
Absolutely.
So I launched it 2 weeks after the idea. I did like 17,000 that weekend. It was a 2-day event, so I did like 17,000. Which I mean, for at the time that was monstrous.
Absolutely.
So I was like, all right, bet. I'm definitely quitting my job now. So I quit. Then I just go full in, and I start a brand. I didn't even have a brand. I just sold all these clothes, and I forgot to come up with a name for the clothes.
Yeah.
Like shit. I give myself the nickname Rich because I understand like the power of words. If I'm introducing myself to people all day as I'm rich, it's guaranteed to happen at some point. So, I was like, my name is Patrick. Ain't no Rich in my name. You know what I mean? But I was like, I'm going by Rich.
Yeah.
People gonna call me Rich. They're gonna start to associate me with this ideal. I got it tattooed on my knuckles. And so I started a brand and I called it Rich Freshman. In Memphis, fresh is that thing. If you fresh, you it.
Yeah.
And it was just basically, if you put on these clothes, you take on the embodiment of a rich, fresh man. Rich freshman. So that was it.
I love it. Yo, I love, honestly, the branding of stuff, and how literal it is.
Yeah.
But then the evolution of it, right? Where you've now obviously, shortened it, but that is so beautiful. Like, it was funny. One of my early companies, it was called the Strategy Collective. And people were like, what? And I was like, well, it's pretty literal. I was like, I'm going to do strategy, and I have a collective of people to execute Strategy Collective. Like,
Absolutely.
sometimes you're just putting things together because you're doing the work. And
Right.
it's so funny when I hear your story, because your name obviously is way better than Strategy Collective. But
that's a pretty good name.
It was, no, it was terrible at the time. Thankfully, we rebranded and it became Black Box. But you know, at the time, it's because you don't think about it when you're doing the work.
Right.
Like you said, you were selling $17,000 worth of clothes over 2 days and didn't have a brand.
Didn't even think of it.
And I just like, it just takes me back to a time where I'm like, man, that's just magical. And I think so many entrepreneurs, and again on the sidebar, right? It's like so many of us start to overthink things in the planning phases of it, right? And you know, whether you call it cobbler's dilemma or whatever it is as an entrepreneur, but you're caught up tinkering, and it's because you're actually looking for things to say that it's not ready.
Oh, I had that problem.
Yeah. And
So bad.
But your movement, though, is actually action based.
Right.
And so you come up with an idea. You just told me in 2 weeks
Right.
you had an event. 2 weeks, you sell $17,000 worth of clothes. Then you realize that maybe you should come up with the brand.
Right.
So I think the lesson in that is it's less thinking sometimes and just do. Just act.
Steve Jobs did that for me. You know, like back in the day, I was a kid. I would overthink everything.
Yeah.
I would design a business card and it'd be perfect, and I would say, let me just shift it over a little bit. You know, what if I make the card size a little bit bigger? I don't like these color stripes. Next thing, the shit doesn't change. It don't even look, and now I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I shouldn't have fucked with it. But I used to have that so bad, and then I got an iPhone. And I got this iPhone, and I got the iPhone 1.
Yeah, I remember.
And I got it, and I was like, wow. See, this is genius. This is what happens when you're obsessed about something and you're a perfectionist. Wait, what do you mean there's an iPhone 2? It just came out the next year that has more features than this one. I thought this was it. Really? You mean it has more features? Oh, okay, well, exactly. And I was like, wait a second. You mean it don't have to be perfect? You can just put it out there and then
Get the feedback.
And keep perfecting it. Damn, that means you don't have to wait so long. Just do the shit. So yeah, I was like, yo, you got 2 weeks to do this. Just do the shit. Like, you have the date set. You can't push it back. You're gonna do this shit.
That's it.
Period. I had 2 suits. I had a gray suit and another gray suit. And I sold people. I didn't even sell no gray suits. I sold all these different colors based on 2. I could have been like, no, man, but you know, I need the right thing to be there to represent. I need to order more shit. Wouldn't happen. So I just moved on it. And then it did what it's supposed to do.
Love it.
So now I'm doing more events like this every couple months. I'm doing 20, 25,000 in an event. And now it's like a one-day event.
Wow.
So I'm hitting a little bit. But I'm doing these like every couple months.
Okay.
So while, yeah, it's some money every couple months.
Yeah.
And then I'm burnt out because it's such a production. Lots of drugs because it was turning into like late night events. And so at a certain point in the night, man, it just turns into like...
It's the scene. It's LA.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And just started spiraling and just, you know, being irresponsible, just doing the shit. And I looked up and I was out of money and I was out of my shit. And I ain't had no place to stay. And I was like, shit, well, you done fucked up, okay? You know, now you in trouble. So I ended up crashing at my brother's career because my brother moved to West Hollywood. He was making good money at that point. He started a business, so doing that thing, and then he ends up meeting his ex-wife, before ex-wife, of course, and so he ends up dipping because he's making all his money online. He can do whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
So he dips. So I'm in LA by myself, and I'm broke, and so things were really bad from that point. Like from that point, it was good because he got me on social media.
Okay.
Like he set up my Instagram, so he's the reason I got on Instagram. And I started outsourcing the alterations. He told me, like, you're not going to be able to make no real money if you're the one doing all the work. You got to find you some people. So I started thinking outsource. So I found other tailors that could do the alterations at a very, you know, high quality level.
Yeah.
And I could still make my margin. So I'm doing that, but everything else is falling apart. I'm sleeping in a storage unit. Then I ended up with a sugar mama. Shout out sugar mama, you know who you are. Didn't work out because you ain't shit, but that's okay. It's okay. Things ultimately they did work out.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's okay. But that's also when I came head to head with like my depression, because it got very bad when I was in that situation, and I came head to head with it, and I figured out that like being active solves it. I just spent my time making stuff. Like, fuck, I'm so depressed right now. I'm just crying for no reason. Let me make some bags. Let me listen to some music that gives off a certain frequency.
Wow.
And then so that started happening. I started feeling better about myself. I ended up moving out, and that didn't go as planned. I still ended up being homeless again. Like I was homeless for maybe a total of a year in LA, like 12 full months. Like 3 months in the storage unit, 4 months. It's the guy that runs our operation now, Eli. I had a key to his little office back in the day, and when he and his partner would leave work, I'd pull up and I would sleep at their office desk.
Wow.
I did that for 4 months. I was there for 4 months, just figuring it out. Turning down jobs. Like jobs were hitting me up like, oh my God, we heard about you, we want to bring you on. Is like, nah, I can't do it, man. I'm not doing this job shit. I got something else that I'm focused on. And I got really just determined to make something happen. So,
and that's crazy. So you're saying no to opportunities while homeless.
Bro, I'm sleeping in this dude's office with $40 in my pocket.
Yo, that's crazy.
Burberry offers me $70,000. They come and do alterations on Rodeo. I said no. I got something I'm working on right now. I can't be distracted. And boy, you talking about pissed? She was pissed. She was like, "What do you mean? I went to bat for you. They were offering 60. I got you 70." I was like, "Yeah, but I got something big I'm working on."
Wow.
With $40 in my pocket, going back to sleep in Eli's office.
That's confidence. That's a different confidence right there.
It was like knowing like something is on, something is next, and if I do this, there's no next. So it was like, you got to thug it out, dog. You said you was not going to take another job. You're not taking another job. And so that was that. So I just go back to the office, do my thing. And so, at a certain point, I kind of get back up on my feet. Rich Freshman is doing okay. I'm starting to make a little bit more money. Doing alterations for some stars. A little bit of clothes, but mainly alterations.
Okay.
And then one day I just got tired of that shit. I was like, you know what? You're never going to get the respect you deserve as a designer if you're doing alterations, bro. You're the help. No one's going to respect you as the designer when you're the help, So I hit all the stylists up that I was working with. I was working with all these big stars doing alterations for their red carpets, for their music videos, for their campaigns. And I hit them all up and said, hey, henceforth, I'm not doing alterations. I only do custom. If you need something made, hit me up. I do amazing work. In fact, you should fool with me because hello? Wow, my phone must have just gone out. It's crazy I lost reception like that. And so no one was fucking with me. They was like, nah, kid, we straight. So shit went dry. Right?
Yeah.
And sticking to my guns, right, this one cat hit me up and was like, yo, we need you to come do some shit. We need you to come take measurements for this client so we can buy him some stuff. And I was like, I don't do that shit. I'm the person who's like, yeah, I know, but we just need his measurements taken. I was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna charge you $250 an hour to take his measurements. It's an hour to dry there, and it's an hour while I'm there. I'm gonna charge you $500 just to take his measurements. Expecting them to say no and leave me alone. They said, all right, cool, bet. That client ended up being Belly.
Wow.
The rapper Belly. So I meet Belly to take his measurements. They trying to get his first music video. This is his first video.
Yeah.
P.O.P. So they trying to get his look together for it. And, you're a big dude. So they can't find out. And I'm like, hey, stylist, I can make this shit, right? No. We just want to do it this way. We want to just do the brand thing. I'm like, all right, sure. He's like, yeah, just don't say nothing to him about that. I'm like, all right. So Belly finally comes out. I take his measurements. We talking. He trying to figure out what the look is. And I just out of nowhere say, hey, bro, you know I can make all this shit, right? And he was like, all right, cool, bet. Videos in 4 days. I'm like, cool, say less. So I made him a pink double breast and I made him a robe for
You
it.
did that shit in 4 days.
4 days. And after that, yeah, he was like, yo, you my guy. You're the only guy I'm fucking with. So after that, I did all his videos. So I'm stacking up some money doing my thing. Now I'm sitting probably like 16. I got like 16,000 on me. And my roommate, he and I weren't seeing eye to eye. So I'm like, yo, I'm finna dip. So I moved out. I threw him a little bit of money. You know, he had helped me out with some shit, put some stuff on his card for me. So I threw him like 8,000. I left with 8,000. So I got 8,000, which, you know, in LA, that's enough to get you a little crib. You be straight.
Yeah. I mean, well, back then. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Back in
Times
the day.
has changed now.
Man. So I take my little money and I go do my thing. And I didn't find the apartment. Instead, you know, got a hotel room for a couple nights, just chilling, whatnot.
This one for her. Rose for her. She looked like she wanted that.
And so, you know,
Scott. You good? You alright? You alright? Yes, sir.
yeah, I'm sorry.
You got plenty. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, man. So I'm like, you know, I'm just chilling, man. I got a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just taking my time. Let me get a hotel room for a couple of nights, and just chill and shit, you know.
Yo, your confidence is crazy. You just thugging it out the
I'm
whole
just
time,
thugging,
like.
you know what I'm saying?
And it's
like,
LA.
all good.
LA ain't no cheap city.
Nah, and, you know, I ain't had no car.
This
so
ain't Memphis.
No, I'm Ubering everywhere. I Ubered for 5 years before I got my car. I Ubered everywhere. I was spending.
Y'all, his car is beautiful. I've seen that. It's in the driveway right now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
He
sir.
got the cold matte.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The matte Maserati.
The matte Maserati.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got the
Put
white.
yourself
I
up
got
on
the
the
white
same
one at the
game.
house. I got the white Maserati at the house though. So if you see me in the white one, don't be alarmed. I got that one at the house.
That's it.
But I didn't bring it out.
Just throw up the honk, hit the peace sign
That's
to my
it.
man.
That's it.
You know what I mean? He put himself up on the same game.
I put myself
Yeah.
up. So I'm like, what we gonna do? So I'm trying to figure it out. And I hit a client up. I was like, you know what? What you need to do, first of all, is find all the scenarios that were not 100% and get them to 100%.
Okay.
So I had a client who I took an order for like 5 suits, but I'd only gotten him like 4 of them. So I hit him. I was like, hey, man, I owe you another suit, bro. It's been way too long. I need to pull up on you and get you this suit. So I pull up on him. He live way out in Calabasas, in the Oaks.
Yeah.
So I go see him. He done lost a lot of weight. So I make this suit for him. He's like, yo, P, dude, the suit's great. It's amazing. I'm like, love. He's like, yo, I need more, dude. We gotta do more suits. I'm like, shit, bet. That's what I need. That's good looking. So I do another 2 suits for him. And I drop him off and he's like, yo, P, I love these. Yo, look, I'm going to New York. I got these big shit. I got Wendy Williams. I got all these big things coming up. I gotta have these suits, man. You smacking them. We got so much shit to do when I get back. I'm like, bet. He's like, all right, cool. How soon can you have me 4 more suits? I'm like, shit, in like a week. He's like, all right, cool, bet, run it. I'm like, cool. You want me to just add these 2 suits? The invoice for this, you want me to add it to the other one? He's like, yeah, just put them all together. I'm like, oh shit, okay, say less. No, I got a little bit of money. I can front it. So I end up fronting it. And I didn't own the factory at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm using someone else's factory to make these clothes, which means you pay for your shit before you take it. You know what I mean? You got to pay for the clothes before you take the clothes.
All day.
So I made 6 more suits. I exhausted all my money. I exhausted like 7,000 of my 8. Getting this situated. And no retakes. So I front all my money, and I pull up on them. I get them these suits. Yo, P's perfect. Oh my God, these are so great. Dude, I can't thank you enough. I'm like, oh man, you know, that's what I do, baby. Here's the invoice. How you want to pay that? You want to do cash, card, or check? Oh, actually, I'm gonna have my accountant take care of it. I was like,
Oh,
no, man, I got to get this cash from you, bro. I got to get this money.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, man, like I really need his money. He's
I
like,
feel like I know where this is going.
oh, you know exactly where it's going.
Oh no.
Like, it's all good, P. I had my accountant hit you. I don't even know why he called me P. He's like, I had my accountant hit you in the morning and take care of it. And I'm like, reluctantly, I mean, what you gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? You know, the nigga rich. You know, he got money. Like, he ain't gonna try and stiff arm me. Never seen that money. So all my money gone now, and this dude owe me $15,000, and I don't have no money to do nothing. So now I'm like, I'm finding random spots like We Spa. You know, shout out We Spa. I lived in We Spa for months.
Yeah.
Until they found out I was living there. Like, you know, just in the past, but this specific time, I was there for like 2 weeks, and they was like,
Yeah.
You keep coming here every day. This is not no house. You don't live here. No, you can't come. I was like, yo, no, I just want to come and relax. No. Bye-bye. So, you know, shit was bleak. And I'm pissed off because this dude owes me this money. I'm also pissed off because the people I'm considering my friends, so I'm hanging out with, chilling and shit. I hit them up like, oh man, shit kind of ill. Shit went left real quick. Man, I just need to pull up and crash on your couch for like a night or two if it's cool. Hello?
Damn.
Everybody I hit was like, oh, no, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Nah, man, I actually got family coming in next week. I just gotta. It was all that shit. It was like, damn, y'all whack. So I'm reeling from that. I'm pissed off at all these people. I had a rich homeboy who told me he'd help me out. I was like, man, look, don't worry about it. I'll put you up in an Airbnb for a couple of weeks. You get back up on your feet. Then he flaked on me. I'm like, why is everybody flaking on me?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So now I can't do We Spa. I done slept outside on benches. I done that whole shit. I done slept on the street a couple nights. And it's cold. It's winter. You know what I mean? So I found this little shelter. It was like $13 a day. So I was like, fuck it. You gotta sleep somewhere, nigga. So I pull up and get it popping. They give you a toothbrush. Go do my thing. And
man, your story is
it's ridiculous.
Is wild.
It's ridiculous.
And I already know I'm low key a little hot because you skipping some stuff that I know is in there, but you got to say that for your book because, man, this is crazy.
I ain't skipping too much.
This is crazy. I mean, shout out to Jeff Johnson, y'all. He's in the building. He's one of the folks that connected me with this brother because, I mean, wow. I'm blown away.
Shit crazy, man.
And Jeff, please, there's shade there. I don't want you to. Okay. Oh, you taking it? You basking?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, I'm doing my thing. I'm not doing my thing. I'm in a shelter. So
you are doing a thing.
Yeah. I'm doing something, which looks like nothing. So I'm here doing this, and every day I'm blowing this dude up. Where's my money? Oh, P, they still ain't got your money yet? Wow, man, I don't know what's going on. Let me get my accountant a call and see what's going on, P. I'll check on it. I'll tap right back in with you. 4 days go by, nothing. Text, yo, what's up? 4 more days go by. Yo, still nothing? Wow, I don't know what's going on. Let me And then finally, after like 2 months of this, I just snapped. It was like, nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, stop fucking playing. Cause like, you gonna either get my shit or not. Obviously, I'm not talking to him. We at voicemail. We on voicemail terms now. He don't even pick up the phone now. So I'm just going off on this voicemail. Get my motherfucking money. Stop fucking playing. I know where you like. How you move like this when people know where you at? Yeah. Even though he in the Oaks, so you're not gonna get to him. But nonetheless, it's fun to say things like that sometimes. Yeah.
Make you feel a little bad.
Right. You know, so I say all this, and I'm like, you need to stop playing with me. Get my motherfucking money. Click. Hang the phone up. At that moment, now I'm in the shelter when this happens. Now I'm hot because I ain't got no money. I can't eat. I can't feed myself. I can't do shit. You know, I'm asking my mom if I can borrow $20, $40, like that type of shit. And actually, I can't ask my mom. I had to ask my brother because my mom can't find out that I'm fucked up like this because she'll lose her mind. So I can't even tell my siblings. No one knows that I'm down like this, except for the people that I hit up to see if I could stay on their couch. So, damn, you know, I hang the phone up, and I'm heated. I'm heated. You know, I heated like, you know, you like, man, you could have really, if I saw bro,
Yeah.
I'd have ran up on bro.
Yeah.
Like heated. Anywhere in a restaurant didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was finna
Yeah.
get
On
physical.
site.
Anywhere.
On site.
So at that moment, I hear someone laughing at me, loud, like a hysterical laugh, like, yeah, right, nigga. And so I turn around like, who the fuck in this shelter got the audacity to be laughing at me? So I turn around and I don't see nobody. And I'm tripping like who the fuck? And I turn back around and I hear it again. So I spin back around like, man, who the fuck? Turn back around and the voice of God starts talking to me. Boom.
Wow.
And it's just like, you so mad, huh? You just gonna make him give you this money. Ooh, you so mad. You gonna make him give it to you. It's my dad's voice. You so mad. You just gonna make him give it to you, huh? I don't understand why you decided to make this man your God. And you know he won't provide. You have not come to me one time. You ain't asked God for nothing. You've been asking this man to be God for you?
Oh my God.
So that was my aha moment. And so, you know,
Man, whoever's watching, rewind that and listen to that one again. Listen to that again. Wow. You said you can't make money, your God.
nah, you made that man your God. Like, you're asking someone to do for you who you know won't. And the God of all things, you ain't asked for shit. And you asking a human? So it was like, if you want to get out of here, you got to switch this. You're going to denounce that. You need to tell me that you ain't never going to hit this man up again. You ain't never going to ask for that money. You don't need that money. He can't be how you got out of here. This got to be a God story. So I just had to open my mouth and was like, I'll never call this man again, and say it out loud to thin air. And
it's your testimony.
Yeah. And God was just like, cool. I got you. We're going to get you up out of here. So I go to sleep that night and I had this dream. And in this dream, I'm someone different. I got pink hair. I got a Maserati. I got like staff, like it's people around me. It's lights flashing, like people are taking pictures of me. And I'm like, the fuck? But I'm noticing like, yo, you in a dream, bro. But like, this is like you in a dream. This is interesting. So I wake up out that dream, and all day I was on it like, what kind of dream was that? Like, this shit felt real as a mug. And I was like, maybe that was like a lucid dream. Like, what the fuck was that? So I go back to sleep, and I picked up on a continuation, same dream. Same person, car is parked sideways in this driveway. I remember it was parked sideways in the driveway, and I walk up to it, and I could see the whole car. And it was a black Maserati. And I'm telling myself, open the door. You got to prove it. Open the door. I need you to know what color the interior is. Wow. It was like a cordovan leather. I touched the steering wheel, the whole shit. I got out the car. I looked in reflection. I saw myself. I saw how I looked, my hair, the whole shit, how I dressed, and how I carried myself. So I come out this dream, and I only had those two dreams. And after that, I just had something different. I was like, that wasn't a dream. You just saw the future. Like, you saw an alternate version of yourself that isn't real yet. Just like when you was in that car ride going to Memphis. The problem is you're not the person that you saw yet. That person is way more controlled and disciplined than you. You're a drug addict. You're an alcoholic. You're a sex addict. You ain't got no control over shit. That person don't move like you. I was like, okay, so let me start writing down all the things that this person is and I'm not. And I just wrote it all down. This person's so controlled. This person's vegan, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs. You know, is very controlled. He's this. He's more spirit than flesh. He's this. He's that. He boom, 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 boom. He's a boss. Now, I'm in a shelter. You know what I mean? But I'm writing all these things down. And I decided, you know what?
I have real goosebumps. This is crazy.
Shouldn't not. I reasoned in the shelter, like, that's when I had the idea to do Rich Fresh. I was like, you know what? I done fucked this up so many times. I probably don't deserve a second chance. But if I get one, I'm gonna do it different. Because before my suits used to be cheap, $600, $800 a suit, made them in China. Like, you're not gonna move like that no more. You're gonna do local production. You're gonna make all your shit in LA. You're gonna be luxury. You're gonna represent something different. You're gonna have a real Pursuit of Happiness come up story. You're gonna be the new Pursuit of Happiness. This is your shit. You finna do some major shit, luxury shit, on your own terms. So I was like, all right, cool. You're gonna call it Rich Fresh. One word. It stands for something different. It's it's this super adjective. It's like, it's the thing. It'll be the thing. I was like, all right, bet. So my mindset was different. Like, I wasn't upset or depressed. I didn't feel homeless anymore. I just felt like a rich dude who was just going through this thing. Like, y'all don't even know, I'm finna be rich as fuck. I'm just going through this homeless chapter real quick. I'm finna be right on to the next chapter. So,
oh my God, this is why I love this. Man. You keep reinventing yourself, but it's just your core.
right.
Like, your core thread, man, who you are, hasn't actually changed.
No.
It was just how you handled the circumstances and things coming at you. And it's like, man, it's wild. Like, I'm listening to you, and it feels like clothing is like your it's like your armor, like you're like a superhero almost. And
Absolutely.
And it's just, this is your cape. You know what I mean? It just happens to be, but like, you just a superhero.
Straight up.
You
yeah.
just needed the right cape
it
type
is
shit.
It's
like,
a superhuman ability. I'm not gonna lie.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing this.
But like, so, you know, at that point, I'm still there, and I'm like, okay, cool. What can I do while I'm still here? So I started like taking photos of the clothes that I had, because I still had really nice clothes. I just was in the shelter. So I started taking photos, and I posted them on the gram. Only the nicest shit. And people start responding like, yo, them shits is dope. Because prior to this, I'm not posting because like my mind is fucked up.
Yeah.
So once that was broke, and it was 2 months of being like shackled.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, start posting on the gram, get active. I post on the gram and get active. Someone say, yo, man, I love them pants, man. I need to get some. Okay, cool. Pants are $800. Minimum 2. Damn, man, that's kind of high. Hey, man, the best shit costs money. Nah, I'm cool. I'll pass. Shit, all right, bet. So now I done came up real quick, $1,600. Get the pants done, and then I changed my integrity. You have to have the highest integrity. I used to procrastinate and bullshit and make excuses. I don't make excuses. I don't apologize. I've not apologized in 3 years. I don't make excuses. I don't fuck off deadlines. I just get it done. By whatever, I don't care what it takes. It has to get done. There's no reality that exists that it don't get done. So
Perfect.
Get the shit done. That's the way I move now. And so...
Yo, that's a word.
Yeah, so, you know, I started making a little bit, but instead of taking the money and just doing the apartment thing, God was like, nah, reinvest. Make more shit. You know, a friend of mine told me, product cures all sins.
So you doing this, hold on, I need to make sure. You doing this in the shelter?
Yeah.
You're making the clothes in the shelter?
I'm not making
Or you got
them.
your network?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got your network
So-
that you already had from before?
Nah, well, yeah. And that's the craziest. A Uber driver connected me with my production facility. An Uber driver. I was in the Uber, and I was pissed off because the source I was using had messed me off real bad. It sabotaged the wedding, like really messed me off. And I was like, damn, what I'm finna do, man? I just said I wanted to make my stuff here. And this is just before I went into the shelter. I'm like, I want to make my shit here. And damn, she done messed me off. So this Uber driver picked me up, and he's like, hey, man, everything good? You know, he look at me in the rear view. Hey, man, everything cool? And I've got a long face. And I usually be like, you know, I don't really want to talk, man. I don't know you, man. I don't want to talk, but just turn the music on. But this time I was like, yeah, man, I'm not having a good day. Yeah, I'm actually really pissed off, man. You know, I'm a tailor, and the factory was making my clothes, ain't handling their business, and I don't know how I'm going to make clothes. It's fucked up. Dude, I actually know a factory that makes suits. I was like, what, downtown? He's like, nah, man, in like Miracle Mile.
Wow.
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, nah. He's like, dude, serious. I was in a wedding and my cousin was getting married and we had to go there. There's tailors everywhere. And it was a beautiful suit. I was like, where is he? He's like, man, I don't even know. Fuck, I don't know. I can't even remember the name of it, but look, if you got time, man, I'm not tripping. I'll turn off the Uber and we'll drive around until we find it. This motherfucker drove me around for 45 minutes for free.
Look at God.
For free. And then pulls right, he said, oh, there it is. Pulls right up to the building. So as soon as you go in, it's right across from the security desk. I was like, damn, bro, appreciate it, man. What I owe you? He's like, oh, man, don't worry about it. I get out, walk in, open the door, mind blown. Tailors everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? So I hit them up. Man, I had to make some
Speak your
plans.
dreams into everybody, man. Share your vision, you guys.
Straight up.
So many of us, I think, we sit and we hold our dreams and our vision just so close to our chest.
I don't want no one to take my shit. Man, ain't
not
no one gonna take your shit.
Not realizing that the people listening to you can actually help you.
Exactly.
And when your vision is big enough, it requires other people. That's a man. Wow. You were given some stuff.
Yeah, like it's really it's a magical story. But like that's how I found the factory. So I got the factory. They're making clothes for me, but I'm still staying in the shelter. I'm just spending my money to make the clothes so I can show more. I need momentum.
Yeah.
So I built up this momentum, and I finally get out like the third week in January. My birthday was the following week, so I knew I didn't want to be in by my birthday. I get out. I had this little shitty Airbnb for a couple weeks. Then I moved to this other one that had a rooftop. It was still, Airbnb, like 5 people staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, but I had one of the rooms. So I'm in there, my energy's guarded, and I'm just on like, okay, what are we finna do next? And I left the shelter with $300 cash.
Wow.
Like, that was it. I had $300. And I would go up to the rooftop and smoke a joint. So I go up to the rooftop, smoke a joint, and I would thank God for all the blessings. Like, man, I really thank you for getting me out of that situation. That shit was bleak. I could have died there, man. I appreciate you getting me out. And then me and God would just start talking. And one day, while telling God thank you for all the stuff, I had the audacity to tell him that I wanted more. I'm like, I appreciate it, but I want more. I'm not satisfied. I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied.
Ooh.
So, ooh. and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like, I'll rise to it. So I just need the opportunities. I want more. And God asked me, what more do you want? And I was like, fuck, I didn't even know. I just wanted more.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to quantify it.
Be specific in your prayers.
And I said, all right, cool. I want $14,000 in the next 30 days. I want to make $14,000 in the next 30 days. He's like, all right, bet. What are you going to give up for it? I'm telling you, like you and I are talking, this is how me and God was talking. God was like, all right, cool, bet. And the voice of God, like, I hear God's voice as my dad's voice. So that's how I know it's real. He's like, all right, bet. So what you going to give up for it? I'm like, I'll stop eating meat except for like fish. I'll stop drinking except for like wine and champagne and shit. And I'll give up Coke and cigarettes. He's like, all right, cool, bet. Run it. I've never cold called, not one time in my Rich Fresh career. I ain't never gone I've never gone somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be for an appointment. I don't go into no office building slinging cards. I don't have business cards.
Yeah.
I just built a website. I ain't got no storefront, none of that. But God was just like, keep doing what you're doing. Got it. 30 days later, I made exactly $14,000. So I go back up to the rooftop and I'm like, all right, that's trippy. That's trippy. It's 14, like exactly 14? That was kind of trippy. So check this out. That was easier than I thought. So I want more again. This time I want 10 a week. So I want 40 now in the next 30 days. All right. You got to give up more. You want more? I was like, okay. I'll give up all flesh. I won't even eat fish. I won't eat sushi, none of that shit. And all alcohol. No wine, no champagne, nothing. Like, all right, cool. Came back 30 days later, I made $40,000. And I left with 300. And now within 2 months, I done made $56,000. And I ain't never made that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? I hired someone. I was like, yo, okay.
And this is all within.
This is all within 2 months of leaving the shop.
And this is the concierge. This is your pants.
Yeah, this is just me.
Suits.
That's it. That's just me pulling up on people, and it's when people seeing stuff on the gram.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, you know what I mean? Like they're just seeing stuff on the gram, and they're like, yo, I gotta have it. So I did the 40, and I was like, damn, okay. You know, I gotta have more. I want 100. I didn't specify. But I said, now I want 100,000. And God said, okay, now what you gonna give up? And I had to give up women. You know, it was a big problem for me. So I had to give it up, and just like God was like, you need to exist as your spirit man. Like you're too flesh. It's too much flesh. You gotta kill the flesh. You need to exist as your spirit. So I'm talking about nothing. I couldn't even look at a woman and get a sexual vibe. Like I all that shit was turned off. There was no porn. There was none of that shit. It was just like focusing on your objective. So I did that, and I was told to do that for like 90 days, which would have ended at the end of June. So July 1st was like, okay, you've done it. So I'm doing this. I'm still doing my thing, making money. You know, like maybe 45 the next month, 50 the following month. And I get to this last month, and I'm not thinking about it because I'm just thinking about, damn, I'm finna not have to be celibate in a minute, you know, because temptation real, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is LA.
It is LA. So I finally got to it. It was July 1st. I moved into this little apartment with the lady that runs my production now. And I'm on the little balcony chilling, and God came to me and said, hey, before you get comfortable, you should check your numbers for the month. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if you check your numbers. Like real sarcastic, like, you should just check your numbers, tally them all up. I'm just curious what you've done in the past 30 days. So I'm like, all right, cool bet. So I tallied up my Cash App, my Venmo, what cash I brought in, all this shit. And I made $101,100 in the past 30 days. Yeah, man. Yeah, listen. I left the shelter in January with $300. By December, I made $1 million. The following month, January, I bought my factory.
Give the timeline one more time, please.
Okay, so I leave the shelter January 2018. By July of 2018, I had my first $100,000 month. By December 2018, I had my first $1 million year. By January of the following year, so I leave the shelter January 2018. January 2019, I bought the factory that was making my clothes.
Come on now.
2020.
Won't he do it?
You know what I mean?
Won't he do it?
Won't he will. Won't he will. 1 year. And the following year I did like 2.5. And then, 2020 hits, and it's like, yo, all my dreams are coming true. I done bought my Maserati. I got the house in the hills. I got the factory. I got like 6 people on my personal payroll, but I got a factory, so I got 13 tailors.
Yeah.
I got production managers. So I'm like, damn, just a year later, you big dog. And I hired my brother. My brother was going through his shit, so I hired him to come down here and run my factory for me. So we're doing our thing. Life is good. And then March hit. March 28, 2020.
Yep.
It was March 18th. And boom, everything shut down. And it was like, damn, God. Bro, you done came so far. And everyone was hitting me up like, damn, bro. You was right there. You was supposed to be next, man. Damn, bro. God's cruel, bro. I'm like, nah, man. God ain't just God during normal time. You think God changed his name during the pandemic? He's still God. Y'all tripping. It's like, man, what you gonna do? Ain't you worried? Like, I don't have the spirit of worry. I don't worry. Worry is telling God he ain't real. How am I worry in someone that did how God did what he do for me when I didn't have anything? And now I'm up and I'm supposed to believe that there ain't none because of pandemic? Like, no. This is an opportunity for me to take a step back, slow down, reevaluate. So I never went into a state of panic. I wouldn't allow it in the house. No one could panic. We wasn't talking about that shit. We talking about what are we doing next? Ain't no, oh, woe is us. Ain't no woe is shit. We in the hills.
Yeah.
It's 2 Maseratis outside. We ain't down. There's no woe is us. We got to make something happen. So, turns out, I got an order to make some clothes for, cause like my tailor shop, I had a bunch of other tailors who we was doing work for. So a bunch of other tailor shops, did the production for them. So we had a nice order came in from someone else. And I was like, shit, I got to get my tailors in there, get them to work. But we ain't got no face masks for them. So I got to get them some masks. Hey, Chase, that's my brother's name. Hey, Chase, bro, can you find some masks for the tailors? Because we got to get them to work, bro. He comes back a few hours later. Hey, man, ain't no masks. I'm like, nah, man, like, check everywhere. He's like, nigga, I checked everywhere, bro. There's no masks. I'm like, Staples? None. Walmart? None, bro. Well, just get them off Amazon. You're not listening to me. There are no masks. You can't get them.
None.
It's 3 months to get them from Amazon. And that infuriated me. Because people are dying from this thing and they need face masks, and you mean the thing that they need, they can't get for months? Oh, that's just stupid. So I was like, man, fuck this. I'm a tailor. I'll make a face mask. Let's go down to the factory. I cut apart a garment bag because they made out of polypropylene. And I knew polypropylene is the best material because it filters better than cotton or anything else. It filters out everything you want to be filtered. It's because it's a non-woven, it's just the way that it's made. So we go down. I just made a regular surgical mask, all black. Went to the house. A buddy of mine FaceTimed me that evening. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? What y'all been doing today? I was like, man, we just went down to the factory, just made a mask. Oh, man, let me see it. Damn, that's beautiful, man. You made that? Yeah. You think you can make some more? Yeah, of course we can. How many you need? Shit, man, look, I know a bunch of companies down here that need some. I'll buy 500 of them from you.
Wow.
I was like, fuck, okay. So 4 days, me, my mom, my brother, my niece, we went down to the shop and we made 500 masks. By the time he got them, he ordered 500 more. And I was like, nah, we got to hire people. I'm not going to be in here making masks all day. So we hired a small little crew. Huh? Yeah, like, nah, I did this shit. We hired a small crew and we started doing it. Then, after 2 weeks, we had sold 6,000 masks. And I was like, all right.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
2 weeks, you sold 6,000 masks.
Yeah. To one person.
What was the price point per mask?
Oh, we just selling them for like $5.50. You know. It was, I mean, little light, light money, but it was, it was a quick little 35,000 in a couple of weeks, and providing a service,
Absolutely.
And so I was like, well, shit, we gotta do something about this. So we were heading back up to the house, and I told my brother, like, this feels like a hustle. It feels like some shit we would have done back in the day. This is not something I should be doing now. Like, I've done too much to be hustling fucking generic masks.
The elevation that you were at.
Absolutely. Like, it's a step down. It's like, oh man, he on hard times right now. This man hawking chicken, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. So I was like, all right, bet. We gotta switch it up. We gotta do something different. We need to turn this into a brand, and we need to create our own unique aesthetic. Went to the house that night, smoked a blunt, grabbed some paper, and I used to do origami all the time. So I looked up and I'm just folding the paper, just randomly folding this shit. Not one fold was out of place. Not one fold was out of place. I just took some paper and just started folding it. And within 3 minutes, I had the shape of our mask, the Henry shape. And I turn around.
Masks are beautiful.
It's spectacular.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, like they look fancy.
Man, I honestly, I want to give, because what's so wild about the story is just as things connect, and it's crazy because this is the first time we're meeting in person.
Right.
And during this same time frame, I'm helping to support my team because we weren't able to launch one of my brands Sunday to Sunday. We had some supply chain issues. Revenue was down. I'm trying to make sure I don't have to fire anybody on my team. And I have an all-black team, at the time, right? And it was just important for me to not lay anybody off.
Right.
So we start getting into, we're selling masks, right? I start leveraging my supply chain connections, et cetera. I'm bringing in masks from China and India, et cetera, and we're moving them to country. And that's how I'm supporting my team. And we're pushing these masks, and then, boom, I see Henry mask launch. And the colors that you had go out.
Yeah.
In the middle of the pandemic, made in downtown LA.
Straight up.
And I said, man, I don't know who this is, but this is some fly shit.
Right.
And that was you.
Straight up.
In the middle of it, on a need, and you took something that we needed for our safety, our comfort, right, our just peace of mind,
Right.
and then you elevated with your
Absolutely.
stamp. And to hear that you were just sitting there folding papers.
Yep. Just
to
folding
come
origami. Just to come up with the shape. I showed my brother. He was like, bro, that's it. That's it.
To folding papers, to having every celebrity, LeBron James, Anthony, everybody wearing your mask.
Everybody. Jennifer Lopez, man, look, her team like, yo, she won't wear no mask but these. Every time you see Lori Harvey, she got a Henry on her face. It's the It Mask, the biggest mask brand on the planet.
100%. 100%.
Straight up. And it just came like from us solving a problem. We were solving a problem for our tailors, which we recognized like if we just sold 6,000 masks to one person, there's a much larger need that we need to address. So we've got to build this out different. We got to build a brand. We can't just rely on this one person because any day now he could shift. We can't be in this position where we got 13 people on staff and he done shifted and now we scrambling for sales. Like if we're gonna do this, we got to do it.
But that's like again, man. That's your MO is so wild because you look to create value, right? And so that drives you, right? That's a theme since you were in grade school. But it's like you don't just try to meet the need or the standard. You wanna exceed it.
Yeah.
Your vision is still bigger and beyond. So you couldn't just create a mask, right? Lots of retailers created masks. Right. Those masks aren't being worn by everybody, right? Their masks aren't selling out.
They're not recognizable.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you trump that, right? You go to another level. But then there's, again, you don't stop, right? No. So there's more things that you're creating.
Correct.
So what I want to hear is like, man, what else? Like, what's next?
Yeah.
Because you've conquered, and if you haven't seen his tracksuits, you should, and you probably don't exist online.
Right.
If you haven't,
if you ain't seen a Rich Fresh tracksuit,
yeah,
man.
like if you've missed it, I don't really know what you're looking at online, but if you are online, you've probably seen it. So you've dominated tracksuits and custom and ready to wear. You dominated suits and the couture line,
Celebrity Tailor,
right? And Celebrity Tailor. You took on masks in the middle of a pandemic,
right,
and went back to your craft of you as a kid almost sewing in your room.
Mm-hmm.
To create the most recognizable mask on the planet.
Absolutely.
And again, you still going.
Oh, still going.
So I'd have met your muse.
Yeah.
Now I got to hear what's next.
I mean,
what's next? Like what?
I mean, Rich Fresh, like there's so much more because what we done, like this is a black-owned luxury brand, but it's not a black-owned urban luxury brand.
No, sir.
It's a luxury brand.
Period.
It can stand next to any luxury brand.
Period.
And not just stand next to, stand on top of. Like my product versus their product there's no comparison. Like I'm gonna eat their lunch. So, and that's just on a case by case play. But now it's like, all right, cool. There's a bigger market. Like we need to dominate. We need to be out here in the space. Just like the Louis and the Balenciagas and Dior's, they're out in the space. So we got to get out in the space. So now it's just about leveraging what I've been able to do with celebrities, which is genius because I'm right here in LA, so I got all this amazing free marketing from clients who are paying for stuff.
Absolutely.
Because I'm the guy that built a reputation for charging everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, like no one when I came up in the game, nobody was charging. They was giving celebrity stuff for free. I didn't come up in that space. I'm not from here, so I don't have that kind of mindset. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you are, and if you got that much money, this really shouldn't be a conversation.
And you can afford to.
You're definitely paying for it. Like I done the whole. Get played by someone with money before.
Oh,
we don't move that way. So
yes, indeed.
But I've been able to take that and just turn into like the premier like Celebrity Tailor, but everyone can see that. So now like cool, leverage that into a brand that everyone can access.
Yeah.
And like again, I mean, we got August here. She's beautiful. She's amazing, and like it's just building out what's the women wear now. So she's kind of taking on the role of a muse, and just helping me see what this should be. Like, how should women wear? I mean, how should women dress? So I'm working on that. I've got something big coming for Fashion Week, both on the men's and women's wear side.
Wow.
And then again, we're gonna both companies. We're gonna raise money. We're gonna build them both out.
Okay.
Like, I've done Rich Fresh for 3 years. Out of my own pocket. I don't have any investors. Both companies are bootstrapped.
Yeah.
So it's time to take that and do with it. Like, at this point, we shouldn't have to still be bootstrapped. We
Is
should
there
have
a
the
name
opportunity.
for the women's line? So Rich Fresh is the men's line.
Still Rich Fresh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
still Rich Fresh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because you say both companies.
Well, Henry.
Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Henry's also self-funded.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, like that. I just had some Rich Fresh money. I was like, put all the chips
You
on
started
Henry.
another entity
Absolutely.
with that one.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
You're not gonna sit and look at the money and spend
Beautiful.
it on bills.
Yeah.
Like, create something that can pay bills
Ooh.
or pay bills.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take this money to create something that'll pay bills.
Talk the talk. Talk the talk.
So now with Henry, we're building it out. It's time to grow to the next phase, the next level, incorporate more products. We've done a really good job of building a very loyal audience. We're the first mask subscription service,
Oh my
period.
God.
And I think we're probably the only one that's still surviving. A couple of them popped up after we did, but they didn't make any noise. They didn't make a splash. But we've been able to grow this subscription community. So now it's time to like introduce more products, like more products that they need to consume. Because again, our job is just solving problems. We're not a mask company. I'm not a mask designer. I'm a problem solver.
Absolutely.
The problem was mask shortage. Okay.
Man, that's why it's funny you say that. You're also not a fashion designer.
No, not at all.
You're a problem solver.
Yeah.
People were wanting to reinvent themselves or be desirable to, their mate or whoever they were going after, and you found a way to help them with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whew.
I made it my life's mission.
I have to check. Can you slide this for his shade? Just because I
He's actually in the shade.
oh, how are you comfortable?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now
I
I'm
just
good.
wanted to make sure. I'm like, we out here, y'all. This is real. This is real LA. We on the roof. These are real vibes.
We getting toasted.
We get to it. We get
Straight
to
up.
it out here.
But yeah, I mean, me and my brother started Henry, and the cool thing about us, like, I'm a designer. I can design anything. I've always been able to just like come up
See
with it.
Yep.
But my brother is very mechanically inclined. I'm not the mechanically inclined one. There's no machine he can't work.
Got it.
So I was able to show him this mask. Here's the mask. This is our product. Here are all the steps to make this product. We need to be able to make 10,000 of these every day. I need you to build the factory that can produce 10,000 of these every day. Hire the people, get the machines, get the square footage. You set that shit up. You worked in factories before. You set this shit up. I'm going to do the marketing piece. I'm going to make sure the shit hot, that it hits. You make sure we can produce it. And that man built a factory in no time.
Wow.
And it's spectacular. Like, we got 60 full-time employees hand making masks every single day.
Wow.
Every day.
I mean, so not only in the middle of a pandemic did you solve a need, a health need in a pandemic. Man, we're sitting here dealing with unemployment rates that we haven't seen, and you just hired 60 people, man.
We were so
You're talking about
passionate.
economic impact.
We were so passionate about that. Like,
Whew.
we're it's like we're interesting dudes. Like, we're just regular dudes, but we really our dad was really like that. Our dad was very philanthropic. He was very empathetic.
Yeah.
He couldn't watch someone else not have something if he had it. He would open his door up to people. Like, it's people that lived with us when we was growing up.
Yeah.
Because he just couldn't see someone. You sleeping in your car with your nephew? Nah, y'all staying at the house.
Yeah.
He was that type of guy. So for us, it's like, we're blessed, we're fortunate, we recognize that. We could have these made in China, maybe,
Yeah.
get them over here. But who are we benefiting aside from ourselves? All we doing is helping ourselves. So why don't we hire people? People need jobs. People need to eat. The people that need jobs, they got kids that got to eat. They got rents that got to get paid. Like, people need money, and we need to be able to make a product. So let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way, you know? And that was it. And we had way more employees than we needed before we needed it, because we just figured we'll catch up. And by the time we catch up, we don't want to be shorthanded. So let's just max it out.
Speak it to existence.
Burn through this money to make sure people are hired, trained, and eventually the sales will come in and bounce it all out. And eventually that happened. And we just, shit hit, man. We've done some very impressive numbers. Way more with Henry than we've done with Rich Fresh.
Yeah.
Henry's made way more money.
It's a mass. It's a mass product, though.
Absolutely.
It's a mass need.
A guy told me this once too, and it was a few months before the pandemic. It's weird. Like, people, I believe that, like, God puts people in your life sometime to
100%.
like just say something, just put you right there. And this cat was over at the house in the hills, and he's looking at all my bags, beautiful bags I had all over the place. Oh my God, I love these bags. Oh my God, Rich. He's like, Fresh, these bags are beautiful. Oh my God, they're just amazing. Wow, how much are these bags? And I'm like, that was $4,000. That was $3,200. That was $9,000. He's like, what? For bags? You're charging that much? Are you selling them? I'm like, yeah, I'm selling them. I mean, I ain't selling a whole lot of them, but I'm selling them. He's like, oh man, you'd sell so many more of them if you sold them for less. I'm like, yeah, but that's just not the nature of this brand. This ain't that type of brand. He's like, no, I understand. He's like, it's just, I don't know, something to think about. Maybe not this business, but maybe another business. Something my dad always told me. Feed the masses, eat with the classes.
Amen.
And I was like, feed the masses, eat with the classes.
Oh.
And he's like, dude, I have so many companies where I sell really inexpensive shit, but I make millions of dollars. I'm like, and he said, I don't give a fuck how I make the money. I just want to make the money. He's like, I don't care if I'm selling expensive shit or cheap shit. I just want to make the money. And it's, I don't know, sometimes it's easier. And I never thought like that. I always thought, no, it's got to be this. I was like, you know what, you're right. So when we launched the masks, we priced them at $10 a mask.
Yeah. It's so wild because, I think even in luxury brands as you are, they have entry items.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to really look at high fashion, and I noticed that most of their revenue was coming from sneakers and belts,
right, and
which
t-shirts.
was in T-shirts, their cheapest items.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it was get to a mass price point, in a way,
right,
so that people could then borrow that equity and also feel good. And I think I actually see it for you as doing a service to the mass that want to feel good, right? We want to feel and actually borrow from you the confidence in the aesthetic of Rich Fresh and what
right.
the embodiment of that. And now we can get that in Henry Mass, because even though it's a lower price point product, the attention to detail, the quality, right, the care into it, you didn't minimize that.
Mm-mm.
It's just an affordable item.
Absolutely.
But it's still all you.
And it's still luxury in a
Man,
sense.
not in a sense, like literally, it's the most luxurious mask on the mic. I told you downstairs, we gonna talk that talk, because I ain't gonna
Straight
let
up.
you. I love the humble stuff, and you're a humble brother, man. You're amazing for coming here, but you built the best mask in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, period. Like, there's no debate
No.
on that. So we can live in that moment,
Straight up.
and yet my niece can go buy it. And
Straight
so
up.
honestly, what I feel is thank you actually for that. Right? Thank you for sharing that and providing that gift with folks that, now in a point that they can afford it, right? Like, not all of us can go and get, the suits that you make, right? And, we're not all celebrities, right?
Right.
And Dwayne Wade and the roster and the amazing list of folks that you have. But I damn sure can go and get Henry Mass, and I'm a subscriber.
Every day of the week, straight up.
So Man, that's wow. And so what next we have, you look, and we look, I done already put myself in it. Look, I'm speaking French now, y'all. I don't know how that happened. Look, I done snuck
Nah,
myself
say
in.
that
And
thing,
this
man.
man, look, I'm gonna speak my shit into
Speak it.
existence now.
Straight up.
But next you have the women's line, and now is that a tracksuit? Like where are you going
It's
with
a
that? What is that?
full women's line.
Full
It's
women's line. Okay.
everything. It's like, you know, my initial ready-to-wear offer for men
Yeah.
was cool. It was minimal. It was a few tracksuits, some really cool tailored polo shirts, some nice T-shirts, just some cool concepts. A couple trousers, a couple sweatshirts that just feel elevated.
Yeah.
That was great. Now it's time to blow the roof off. Like,
Okay.
that was cool, but I want what Ralph has.
Yeah.
When you walk into Ralph, you get whatever you need. If you walk into Tom Ford, you're going to get whatever you need. If you walk into any of them, you're going to get whatever you need. You're going to get the suit. You're going to get the whole thing.
Paint the picture of your vision, right? So Rich Fresh vision of fashion, of apparel, of expression
Right.
is what? How would you articulate
It's
that?
minimal. So I'm a maximist or maximalist minimalist.
I love that.
I like simple shit, but I like to turn it up.
Okay.
So I'm not big on logos and shit everywhere, which is why I'm not logo heavy. My logo is my use of stripes
yeah.
and my yellow tab. It's minimal, but I get all in there and I do stuff that people can't do. I play with colors, I play with concepts, I add this thing, I add this trim here. So, you know, I'm big on that. You know, I pretty much use myself as my inspiration for the menswear. Like, how does someone who wants to feel luxurious but still comfortable, how do they dress every day? All the garments I make are comfortable. I don't do uncomfortable clothes.
Yeah.
But I don't do things that lack the detail. I don't do cheap clothes. I don't do cheap construction. On the track pants, I have a curtain waistband. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got a pleated curtain waistband, side tabs, pin tuck, hook and eye. You know what I mean?
Look, brother Jeff is
all of the
modeling over
above.
here.
All of the above.
Fly.
You know?
Okay.
Hand finished. This is a hand finished hem. They ain't no top stitch. These not jogging pants.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So that's
Talk
just my
that
thing.
talk.
Yeah, everything is elevated. Even if it looks simple, when you get close, you're gonna recognize my track. This button is made by hand. You know what I mean? This lady that sits in a machine, not a machine that you push the thing and no. This lady came from Bijan. I hired this lady from Bijan. She does this by hand. She does these buttonholes by hand. Like, this is creme de la creme. I grew up like fascinated with Savile Row
Yeah.
and that whole world of them going and doing that shit. But I didn't get to do Savile Row, and I'm not really with the stuffy clothes. So how do I take the same attention to detail and level of quality and apply it to luxury athleisure? You know, so that's
if you
the
guys
whole
don't know,
aesthetic.
that's over in London, by the way. the echelon of suit making, right? Which many of us aspire to get and be able to do, and you're taking that skill set and applying it in comfort.
Absolutely.
Because what I will tell everybody, you can't go over there and get you a suit, and I have done that. I'm a big guy. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is great to stand up and shake your hand in. When I sit down to eat, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, you gotta hike your pants.
You
think about it.
You gotta sit.
suck
You gotta
in.
sit different on the meal.
You know what I mean? That's not it.
Thank you for bringing
Absolutely.
suits.
But I mean, you know, like women, you know, I was always afraid that I couldn't do women because, you know, I've been single for a long time, which thank God it just changed.
Y'all,
but,
so
like,
don't send him no messages, y'all. We don't need that.
Listen,
This is a man of faith.
I don't
he's in
even
a
read
good
them
spot.
anymore.
Don't tempt him with nothing.
I can't
Hey, you
be
guys
tempted.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I always thought maybe I couldn't do it, and now I want to do everything. I want to do skirts and gowns and swimwear for women. I want
Yeah.
to do everything that women should be wearing. I just want to design the clothes I think women should be wearing. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a certain thing that I see. I'm like, damn, that's tacky. It would have been so much cooler if you had wore this instead. You know, like I just have a way. I have an idea for how I think men should dress. That's clear as day.
Yeah.
I just have an idea. There's a certain thing that I'm like, nah, that ain't it. 3 buttons on your suit, nah, that ain't it. Oh, come on, Jack, that's too long. That ain't it.
Yeah.
There's a certain way. If you ask me, I can give you the perfect formula for how you could look, and it's going to smack everybody in the mouth, guaranteed. I have the same idea for women. I just don't apply it. So now I'm just jumping completely off the ledge, and I'm just going to apply it. I'm going to go full on and just do everything that I think women should be wearing.
I will throw myself out there. If I can help in any way, because I think your vision for people, and I always say if you can be a value creator or a servant, it naturally means that you're super humble.
Right.
And I get that from you, from your mom, from your dad, and his military background. Your instinct is to serve. And when you're doing that, you always win. And what that means to me, it's interesting because with your men's line and now your women's line, there's an appreciation for the being, for like the person.
Right.
And it's not just mass for you. Like you're treating these things with the level of care and detail, like it's one-on-one, like it's couture.
Absolutely.
Still for that individual. And man, that carries you, and that is special. So I will throw myself out there any way that I can contribute or participate or help or lend anything about me. I would be honored, and I think truthfully anybody else who feels that's viewing, that thinks they can, comment and send a message, because I think what you've just mapped out, man, is the future of, like I say, it's bigger than fashion because it's life. And it's not coming from taking advantage. You're creating it not to make anyone feel bad or less than, but to elevate and feel better, and to live their truth, which is based off of your story and how you have, I don't even want to say reinvented yourself, because it's interesting. I feel like just through your evolution.
Right.
It's like you constantly evolve, and to me that's what makes great businesses, great brands. They're just continuously evolving, because people change, and you're just trying to continuously solve their needs. And man, I'm honestly, again, I'm honored. I'm thankful that you would take your afternoon and come here with the lady, which has been beautiful. We had some vegan food, y'all. He done got me off my meat game. I had to conform for a second. That was a little
tough. Throwing it all out the fridge.
I ain't had no meat in a while, so I'm gonna be on the grill tonight. So, but all of that, man, is it's just beautiful. What I want to get, because again, on your journey of self-mastery, you've articulated so clearly, one, your ability to constantly evolve, your ability to put in the work and to create value, and but also to just kind of know your worth and really believe in your vision. So as we kind of close out here, what I would love to just hear is, in your parting words, the advice that you want to give for folks that are on their journey, right? There's some level of dissatisfaction because they see so much more for themselves.
Right.
And I think from a very early age, you've seen so much more for yourself.
Right.
And you've worked towards it. So is there any parting words, any words of wisdom that you would like to give? Because I have a tradition here, man. On World's Greatest Game, the last word is yours, because man, I'm a student right now. I'm taking notes.
Straight up.
So you can make it personal and anything you would say to me, but for sure, any individual adult kid that's listening that is heard now, and I just got to give you the rich, fresh story.
Straight up.
Anything you want to share, man, and leave us with.
Yeah. Especially, if you're in the space of like entrepreneurism, it's not easy. Like, it's not linear. It's not you have an idea and then success is next. You know, it just takes. People always say, you know, value the journey, not just the destination. You know, and we apply that to so many things, except for business, except for the thing that's supposed to take us some time to get set. We want things to happen immediately, and when they don't happen the way that we want them to happen today, as if we're in control of that, then we say, oh, let me throw my hands up, and then what? You know what I mean? So, you know, when you're on a path that you've been put on that path for a reason. And sometimes the adversities are just meant, A, to prove that you really are the one. Because, you know, everybody, if you ask everybody that you come in contact with if they want to get rich, everybody going to raise their hand and say, yeah. Who want to get rich? Everybody want to get rich. If I tell you all right now, I had a lottery ticket for all year and it's all a winning ticket, who want this ticket? Every hand going to go up. And if you tell people, cool, I need you to meet me at 5 a.m. And when you meet me at 5 a.m., make sure that you got this and this and this. And we're going to be hanging out for like 4 hours. We're going to figure it out, get it done. Then we're going to ride around. We're going to pick up some trash. And then we're going to do this, that, and the other. And then, oh, hands are going to start going down. Like, oh, shit, did you say 5 a.m.? Oh, wait a second. That's a little early.
Yeah.
People say they want it, but most people won't actually go for it. So if you have the tenacity to keep going for it, the universe opens up for you. Like, it just has to open up for you. You know what I'm saying? But that thing where you might quit will be your biggest test. It'll be the thing that says, are you the person that's supposed to get the success that I got waiting for you? God can't give success to someone who would quit. He can't give all the glory to someone who would quit as soon as it starts raining. You know, if you're not built a certain way, it's ultimately not going to work for you. So while you doing your thing and you're going through your storms, just understand that everyone's going through a storm. Everyone's going through their storm. Everyone who's successful has gone through a storm, and they're successful because they were able to demonstrate that they could endure the storm. So the only way to be successful is to demonstrate to yourself that you can endure whatever storm you're dealing with, and just persist. You know, it'll always happen. It will always happen. Just persist.
Wow, brother, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna just tell everybody, because on this one, look, shop Rich Fresh. Shop Henry Mass.
Straight up.
If you can, find a way to invest, do something, because this brother's the future. He's the present. He's been the past. He's damn sure the future.
Straight up.
Man, and thank you. I'm honored again that you would bless the mic with just another amazing episode, man, of World's Greatest Game, and to share your journey and your pathway to self-mastery, man. So, brother, thank you, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Salute to you. This is wild.
Woo! Straight up.
Wow.